Not MX. How's it going, guys? Word 500. There's gonna be some more cancer shit, isn't it? I'll check it out. Ooh, how's it going, man? Holy shit. What? The big Ooth shows himself? What are the odds? Unhinged, yo. Into my eyes. Hey, odds are pretty high these days. TRA Rags Too Funny. Who's that? Is that a YouTube channel? Hi Pookie, how's it going? Mount Everest, Mount Fuji, Mount... Probably watching The Odyssey this weekend. Where would you rank it in other Nolan movies? Okay. I need a list of Nolan movies. Hold on. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not seen all Nolan movies. So I will rank them amongst the ones that I have seen, okay? So... Okay. Amongst these, I send my blessings to you and your... Why have you dropped the response video with your Patreon so I can become a top member? Ooh, I don't... There's no point... I mean, I can set up a Patreon. I just don't know what the point is. I have the coffee thing. I can just post stuff there. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. To your kin? Oh, I see. I appreciate you, Unhinged. Okay. So, didn't do that? Yeah, I already have the coffee. What are you talking about? Okay. So, I have seen The Odyssey. I have seen Oppenheimer. I have seen Tenet. I have not seen Dunkirk. I have not seen Quay. I have seen Interstellar. Have seen The Dark Knight Rises. Have seen Inception. Have seen Dark Knight. Have not seen The Prestige. Seen The Batman Begins. Not seen Insomnia. Not seen Memento. Not seen Following. And I don't think I've seen any of the other two. Not Tarantula? What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, but you don't... No, get it really set up. Okay. If you'd like me to... Okay. Yeah, I can. Literally I promise, as soon as I'm done Koi, I can do that. Okay. So here, okay, I'm going to turn off chat for a second just because it's getting in the way. So I would rate amongst these that I have seen. I'm going to rate all the Batman movies as one, okay? Because honestly, they kind of blend together for me. I know they shouldn't, but they kind of do. Batman Begins, I feel like... No, I can do this. Okay, Batman Begins. Solid, probably 8.5. Dark Knight, 9. Dark Knight Rises, like 7.5. Philip, Bug, how's it going, guys? Interstellar, like a 9.5. I love Interstellar. Tenet, solid 8.5. A little mindfucky for my taste, but good, decent. Inception, I would rate a 9. I would rate it above Tenet. The Oppenheimer. Now, Oppenheimer to me is his best movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oppenheimer to me is his best movie. I loved it. I love the casting. I love the acting. I love the directing. I love the fucking the music. I loved it. Christopher Nolan films. Yeah, but Odyssey, I would probably rate 9.5 for me. This is where I would rate it. So mine would go Oppenheimer 1, Interstellar, and Odyssey is where, like, you can kind of toss those up or similar to me. Okay. I will put it second. I will put Interstellar third. That's really rough because I think it's so easy to interchange them. I fucking love okay, okay, thanks Philip for that. I was like, wait, he loves the fucking what in Oppenheimer? I was like, oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. So it probably goes Oppenheimer, Odyssey, Interstellar, Dark Knight 4, Inception 5, Batman Begins 6, Tenet 7, Dark Knight Rises 8. This would be my ranking. I want to be clear, none of these are bad movies. Of the Nolan movies I've seen, there's not been a single one where I left and I went, that was a bad movie, or like I didn't enjoy watching it. I don't think I've ever had that. I have, like, The Dark Knight Rises, like, I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, I want to watch that. Batman Begins, you know, I'll put that on. Dark Knight Rises, I'll go out of my way to watch that, no problem. Inception, hell yeah. Interstellar, fuck yeah. Tenet, if it's on, I'm not going to turn it off. I'll watch it, no problem. Oppenheimer, Odyssey, hell yeah, put it on. Let's go watch that, no problem. That's the way I would put this. There's no Nolan movie that I've walked out and went, that was a bad movie, or like, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think I've ever had that. But like, I have had, like, The Dark Knight Rises was like, well, that was a kind of a fucking clusterfuck, guys. That was a lot. I didn't enjoy it very much. I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty common. I think that's a pretty hot, cold take. Interstellar, Dark Knight, Inception, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer below Inception. No, Inception, I believe. Below Dark Knight Rises, really? I'm not judging. I've not seen Memento, can't say anything. Not seen Prestige, can't say anything. Dark Knight Rises, Batman. You put Begins under Rises, really? Not seen Dunkirk, can't say anything. Okay. I gotta plead for you to talk to me. I wanna hear all the good and bad, the new stories you have. God, this song is so fucking good. So good night, let me sing a lullaby. Only the real OGs have seen Doodlebug. I have not. Yeah, me neither, brother. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was cool. Okay, Kami said he's doing something, so we'll just keep busy for a moment. Let's just do concert hotels. Kami, whenever you're ready, just let me know, okay? Then I can start, because it's already late as fuck, so I don't want to delay too much. So whenever you are ready, just give me a holler, okay? Okay, let me just get this. We finished the series tonight, Saturday. I forgot what I played last chapters. I don't know. I don't remember. 8:14? Decent. We'll take it. Listen, I do like 8:50 to be my cutoff, but whatever. Saturday. Hey there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days. 5 days. That's it. We're done. We're almost fucking done, guys. I'm so fucking glad to have you guys, okay? Genuinely. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna miss a person or two, but like, Harsh, Chris, Kami, Bug, Uth, when you showed up occasionally, you fuck. Hey there, Not, MX, I'm sure I'm missing a person or two. Everyone who watches VODs, Unaware, who pops by. Like, everyone who is like popped by, like, you guys are the only reason I managed to get through this fucking book. I've not exactly been short on my fucking criticisms of it, I'm not gonna lie to you, but like, genuinely, you guys don't know how much I appreciate every single one of you, because I would have fucking quit this book in fucking April. I'm just fucking done with this. And I was like, no, they're showing up. They show up. Like, listen, there's only a handful of you guys, but you guys show up every fucking day. I'm not gonna leave you guys high and dry. I'll bite the bullet. I'll do it. And we got it done. I'm sure I'm missing a person or two there as well, for sure, but If I forgot you, I hope you know it's not because I don't care about you. I'm bad with names. Okay, alright, let's go. What happened to Romero? Romero is studying for his college entrance exams either. And he has not read, COI. You should be done in late August, I think. You should be done, and then we should have him back. Yeah, he's young. I think he just turned 18, I think. Maybe 19, I can't remember, I don't know. He's young. He's a kid. Which only makes the fact that he helped me so much with LOTM and the server in general is like just that much more goated. Love that guy. Set it back to Chris, can you just do me a favor? Send me what chapter we end on today, because obviously it's late as fuck. I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible, so... By the way, if you guys would be up for it, if after we're done, I'm gonna order some food when I'm like close to finishing the chapters. And if you guys want, while I'm eating, we can just talk about the book, because like I'm just gonna be up while I'm eating anyway, and I'm gonna pass out after the fact. So if you guys want to ask me any questions about the book or like future plans or any theories about the future or whatever, we can just do that for a bit. Because I know normally I end up like just finishing stream and I'm like, all right guys, I'm gonna call, like finishing reading, and I just go, all right guys, I'm gonna call it. No, that way. It's just now we don't care about you. Just read the book. Kami, I thought we were fucking friends, man. I was gonna say like, hey, I'm gonna probably go to France next year. Like, it'd be cool, really cool to meet you. Like, obviously, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it'd be really cool if I could just meet you for like a drink in the afternoon or whatever. Just buy you a drink for all that you do, and fucking never mind, bro. Genuinely, just fucking kill me. I'm just a fucking audiobook out here. Mr. Fool directed his gaze towards Madam Magician 4's. She habitually cleared her throat and said to the chariot, "You must have already guessed that there's another level above grade 0, right?" "Great existences?" Lumion asked. "Yes, the great existences above the sequences," Madam Magician nodded. "They have accommodated a Cipher and the corresponding uniqueness. Plus one Beyonder characteristic from each of the corresponding paths. They are known as the Great Old Dominators, or Outer Deities, with indestructible psyches. This is how I understand it. All current great existences above the sequences are true deities, as defined by Mr. Fool. Either personas split off from the original creator, his direct offspring, or the first beings born of the true creator, or of the Great Mother. They essentially appeared right in the universe before the original creator awakened and completely self-destructed. Their status originates from an old era. These are conditions that subsequent advancers can never achieve. Even if they truly become great existences, they would only be newly born above the sequences." As she spoke, Madam Magician felt like she was discussing Mr. Fool right in front of him, her voice becoming quieter as she spoke. She paused before continuing. "Therefore, those great existences like to call themselves Great Old Dominators, and some refer to themselves as Great Old Ones. The currently living or Great Old Dominators are all outside the barrier. Some wish to invade our world, thus they are called the Outer Deities." "I see. Uniquenesses correspond to Sequence 0 true gods. Sephiroth correspond to those above. Sephiroth are collections of symbols, sources of authority, and origins of power. Back then, when the original creator awakened, causing the destruction of the old era, he split into 6 Sephiroth, 16 uniquenesses, and all characteristics of the 16 paths of divine. The destruction of the old era? Did Mr. Fool, Aurora, Franca, and the others come from an old era that was destroyed when the original creator awakened?" Lumion nodded. "But currently, there are not just 6 Sephiroth in our world, but 9. 9? Did they originally exist?" Lumion asked. "Besides the Sephiroth Castle, Chaos Sea, Sea of Calamities, River of Eternal Darkness, Knowledge More, Key of Light, there were 3 more?" "No, they were extraterrestrial in nature," Madam Magician said. "The awakening and the self-destruction of the original creator was a catastrophe for the entire universe. During this process, his 3 direct offspring, the mother goddess of depravity, that is the Great Mother, along with the Mother Tree of Desire and the Child of Chaos, were most affected. Their Sephiroth torn in half. with one half being drawn to the site of the original creator's self-destruction along with their corresponding uniqueness and characteristics. That is, to our world. Since then, there have been 9 Sephiroth, 22 uniquenesses, and 22 paths of the divine within the barrier. Why specifically 9 and 22? Perhaps it can be explained by the Moses Ascetic Order's theory that all things are numbers and numbers have spirituality. 9 and 22 have some special mystical significance. When Madame Magician mentioned terms like the Mother Goddess of Depravity, Lumion felt as if numerous gazes were looking at him, though unable to penetrate through the Sephiroth castle. At this moment, Mr. Fool tapped the edge of the table and said normally, like uniquenesses, Sephiroths cannot be divided, copied, or destroyed. Only one situation can cause them to be torn apart, encountering the original creator. He is the exception, the inconceivable, the incomprehensible, and the indestructible. All things that shouldn't happen may when encountering him. Unknowable, undiscussable, and unnameable. And it was this single instance of Sephiroth being torn apart that led to the great old dominators to discover that torn Sephiroth could self-complete. The Sephiroth of the Mother Goddess of Depravity that was torn into our planets self-completed itself into the Brood Hive. The Mother Goddess of Depravity lost titles such as the Father of Devils and Sorcerers of Chaos, perfecting themselves into the tenebrous world. Among them, the Child of Chaos had a somewhat different experience. Whether his main consciousness was on the torn Sephiroth and followed it inside the barrier, or he used his spatial symbolism to project his consciousness to try to reclaim the torn Sephiroth. Ultimately, his consciousness was either defeated or deceived by the Celestial Worthy and sealed within a magic wishing lamp from a miracle invoker characteristic. The origin of 005. Idiot! Bro! He came in here he's like, oh, I'm gonna get that Sephiroth and be goated. And Celestial Worthy said, son, you in my house now? You're gonna be a fucking, you know, there's gonna come a guy, he's gonna make an automated wishing machine. You as a great old one are gonna be a step below that, because that's an automated wishing machine. You are a lamp, okay? You're one step below that. That guy's only an angel. You're a great old one. But I'm gonna show you the fucking levels between us, idiot. The main consciousness of the Child of Chaos became a genie, and the Sephiroth torn inside the barrier self-completed into the Nation of Disorder. And what remained outside the barrier was called the Uncertain Mist. That is, the one worshipped by the brokers. The Uncertain Mist has some consciousness. After hearing Mr. Fool's accounts of the Child of Chaos's experience, Lumion found the School of Truth's brokers searched for Artifact 005 amusing. It was like saying, our god has lost its brain. Please help us find it. Beyond the humor, Lumion was more concerned about another thing, the Brood Hive. It's in the Western continent. What you didn't explicitly say before, Mr. Fool, is that it was possibly the Brood Hive that brought the hidden sage to life. Yes, these matters are hidden, are dangerous and corruptive for those without an angel status. Difficult to bear, Mr. Fool nodded. In the middle to late period of the First Epoch, before the Celestial Worthy's fall, he sealed 7 Sephiroth. Hold on, he might be kind of goated though, no? There's 9 Sephiroth in here, 1 of his own. He sealed 7 of them. 1 left. His actual enemy. Yeah, but no, but that's kind of goated with us. No, I know we know this, but that's kind of goated with the sauce though, no? He sealed everything but 1. He said, damn, that one's a little toughy. That one's a little toughy. That was kind of crazy though. The Brood Hive, Nation of Disorder, Tenebrous World, City of Calamity, River of Eternal Darkness, Knowledge More, Key of Light, and the Western Continent, to be guarded by Penglai. What is Penglai? I'm sorry. I know I've read this term before, I just can't remember it. It's not in my notes. What are the 3 islands? Harrison? Oh, okay. Chinese Mountain? Oh, okay. As a result, faced with the approaching apocalypse, all true gods who wanted to exceed their sequence limitations to deal with the outer deities had only one choice: to support the emergence of a new Lord of Mysteries to lift the seal, and the Celestial Worthy could be revived within the body of the new Lord of Mysteries. So Mr. Fool and I had similar experiences, nurtured by the gods who were forced by the celestial worthy to ensure his survival, while I was created by the Blood Emperor's revival efforts and to achieve some sort of goal with the Aurora Order deity. The celestial worthy's fall came from that primordial god almighty who had also accommodated some multiple Sephiroth. They nearly perished together. Some of the celestial worthy's arrangements were for his own sort of revival, while others were meant to interfere with the primordial god almighty's revival, and vice versa. In short, there are many reasons why I was able to suppress the celestial worthy this time. My go saying this time is so sad. The help of the primordial god almighty. The mother goddess of depravity had other plans and didn't exert her power. The celestial worthy's arrangements of sealing most Sephiroth developed in ways he hadn't prophesied. The Beyonders of the Western continent, through generations of sacrifice, managed to carve out a new path and grow stronger without a potion system and few characteristics. For example, the Celestial Master and the Underworld Taoist, they all have status and power approaching that of a deity, and could be even stronger if they fought without regard for themselves. Panglide thus remains hidden. How could such high-level beings stand by and watch the Celestial Worthy's revival and allow Panglide to play its role? Mr. Fool looked at him and Madam Magician and said, here's your answer with the Celestial, near that of a god. I was thinking he was Great Old One level, but he's near that of a god, so slightly below god. After my initial awakening, although I still can't lift the Western Continent seal, I can communicate somewhat with the Celestial Master. The Celestial Master has told me that their sect's ancestral court has once been breached and occupied by the Lu sect, and many historical Celestial Masters had romantic entanglements with the Lu sect holy maidens and had children with them. Lu sect? Both the Chariot and Madam Magician were confused. The Lu sect has a saying, unborn ancient mother, true void homeland. Paramita? Lumin understood. The sect that worships the Broodhive? The Broodhive? Unborn ancient mother, the title for the Broodhive? Combined with the events described by the Celestial Master, there is reason to believe that the Knowledge Mortal was once corrupted and influenced by the Broodhive at some point in time. This may be the hidden sages coming to life. I see, Lumin finally understood. Do the Mother Goddess of Depravity, Mother Tree of Desire, and Uncertain Mist wish to invade our world to reclaim their torn Sephiroth? And what about the other great old dominators outside the barrier? What are their goals? Besides those three, others wanting to invade our world include the Monarch of Decay, originally worshipped by the Sick Church, the primordial hunger that Ludwig once served. And stopping Klein from waking up. Having Adam's baby. Having a second baby from Adam. Can I say that? What do you think? What you think? You know what? You don't think? What you think? Adam is above wanting some strange? He's not allowed to be like, damn, me's hungies. Let me get some strange. What do you think? He's above that? I'm just asking. What? He's not allowed to. He's not allowed to be like, damn. He's not allowed to be like. You gotta imagine the mother goddess of depravity. You look at her and you just want to do like depraved things because she's the mother goddess of depravity. You gotta imagine. Even Adam is like, damn, brother. I would tear that ass up. Ah! Someone clip that, bro. This is why I don't stream. This is why I don't stream this late, bro. Oh God. The inextinguishable ravings by the first philosophy. Supernova Dominator, who was the original owner of that spaceship in the Sea Prayer ritual. The circle of inevitability you are most familiar with, and the high-dimensional overseer of the Painter Pathway, and the goddess of fate worshipped by General Philip. Okay. Hold on, bear with me for 1 second. I'm just getting my fucking pizza order ready. I'll order it a little bit later because I am hungry right now, but I'll order it a little bit later. But I'm just trying to get my shit right. Okay, that's not bad. This is fine. Okay. Isn't that a little too many? They even outnumber the true gods within the barrier. I'm making pizza right now and still got a take of everything. What? What do you mean with? Okay, cool. I mean, nefarious things, Squeeze? What? I get the context now. I apologize. I get it. Okay, I get it. Okay. They even outnumber the true gods within the barrier, and they're a high level higher. Having transcended the sequence themselves, LEMMiNO was shocked, fear briefly surfacing before being suppressed by his courage. Madam Magician seemed to understand the chariot's feelings and chuckled. When the original creator split himself, he wanted to reunite and complete his revival. For this purpose, he left behind a barrier to protect the planet we live on. Oh, I love how, because he's like, brada. If these vultures get a hold of my fucking pieces, it's over. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, it'll be here. Okay, it takes like 20 to 30 minutes. That's not bad. Okay, sorry, let me lock in now. Without this barrier, the great old dominators would have destroyed us along with the entire world long ago. By the way, try not to mention the cosmos to people without an angel status, or rather, don't let them understand the true situation. Well, the original creator's will is gradually fading, and the power and psyche without will become chaotic and problematic. The barrier formed from this will increasingly end up being unable to resist the great existences, until it reaches a critical point and shatters. According to the different prophecies and patterns, this critical point will arrive in 1368. However, the current situation, the apocalypse, may not wait until that point. Problems within the barrier may cause the passageways to open early. LEMMiNO nodded, understanding completely why there would be an apocalypse and what the dangers would be. When the barrier shatters, even if Mr. Fulo is awakened and replaces the celestial worthy, their planet will only have one above the sequence who could fight against the great old ones, while there was 10 of them. In the Vortex incidents, the deity worship of the Aurora Order, with the help of Haman consuming Termiboris and the genie's special nature, wounded the uncertain mist and killed the brokers. A good thing, Madam Magician said. The great old one waiting to invade from different planets in the solar system have lost one of their number, and the remaining ones can no longer effectively unite. The bad news is that after such careful planning and effort, there are still 9 others. LEMMiNO had some understanding of the final outcome and the general development of the Vortex incident, but now it was clear. He remained silent before repeating, besides the Mother Goddess of Depravity and the Mother Tree of Desire, what are the others trying to achieve? Mr. Fool had earlier mentioned that accommodating multiple Sephiroth was impossible for the Celestial Worthy, though he had indeed done so. From the subsequent narrative, it seemed that the Celestial Worthy's fall was somehow related to this. Madam Magician said there's actually different levels for above the sequence. What? What? There's a ranking even above this? Above this? Okay, we do not know that there is no... Okay, Kami, what, you're gonna argue with Chris now? The only thing we knew is that there's a pillar which is above, sure, but that's it. Don't say we knew any more than that. Fucking stop, okay? I'm allowed to be surprised by stuff without you guys fucking being like, oh my god. Oh my god, he's LARPing. Oh my god, this fucking guy doesn't even read. He's actually just playing a fucking AI voice and is jerking off while he's streaming. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Jesus, get it together. The Mother Tree of Desire, the Monarch of Decay, and the other great old dominators are at the first level. Besides them, there's another outer deity in the depths of the cosmos, but they are either weaker in strength or have no desire for the symbolic meaning of the Sephiroth within the barrier. Hence, they are not involved. The original creators at the third level, representing the ultimate, representing chaos, the beginning, the end, representing the unknowable and the indiscussable. Nothing can surpass this level, and they can only have one being at that level, and it is very unstable in the aggregation and division of his instincts. Between the first and the third, there is a second level. The great existences at this level aren't much more powerful than the first, like the Mother Goddess of Depravity, Child of Chaos, and Monarch of Decay, but they possess special symbolism, the foundation of the universe's maintenance and development, known as pillars. Okay, so really that was phrased poorly then. Because then it was just phrased poorly. Pillars. Lumion thought of the 10 pillars of the Moses ascetic order. Madam Magician said undisguised, this is a case of knowing the term pillars but not understanding its symbolic meaning. They thought it sounded sophisticated and misused it, but in the eyes of those who truly knew, it is so stupid. It was the brood hives that brought the hidden sage to life and corrupted him. If I'm not mistaken, the Mother Goddess of Depravity who split off from the brood hive is one of the pillars, right? Yes, Madam Magician was stunned. Fate is truly wonderful. I was bracing for like, oh, above the pillars, there is something known as the foundation. Below the foundation, there is something known. This is secret knowledge. Below the foundation is something so giant, it is difficult to even comprehend with even an angel's mind. Its name is Kami's mother. Bro, I can't stream this late, bro. I'm not gonna get anything done. I'm not gonna get any reading done. Oh my god, I can't help myself. I can't. Are you sure there's only 3 pillars? Lumion asked. From a realistic perspective, there are countless planets in the universe, each planet equivalent to ours. There are numerous alternate dimensions, too many to count, but in mysticism there are only 3 layers of the world, the physical, the spirit, and the astral. Many schools of mysticism have different interpretations, but the final division of worlds comes down to 3. Returning to the conventional concepts, the primordial God Almighty is the dominator of the astral world, Mr. Fool the lord of the spirit world, and Mother Goddess of Depravity the sovereign of the physical. Although she had part of her Sephiroth torn away, she still possesses the symbolism and status of a pillar. You should know that besides the Mother Goddess of Depravity herself, the Mother Tree of Desire and the Child of Chaos are born directly of the original creator. The remaining Great Old Ones were all born from the union of the Mother Goddess of Depravity and the original creator. The first batch of beings she created, literally the mother of the monarch of decay, supernova dominator, and the other great old ones, the true mother of all things. Each controls a realm, but not completely. Hold on, I'm going to add this to my notes, because these two chapters are just so much info about Great Old One that I need to add this to my notes. Like, if I have questions about Great Old Ones, I just come back to these chapters, and most likely it should be answered here. Above the sequence knowledge, COI 10, what was it? 89, 1090. Each controls a realm, but not completely. Their authorities overlap with each other. That's what pillars are. Complete pillars are at the second level of above the sequence, with a status higher than Great Old Ones and slightly stronger, but not fundamentally different. A complete pillar can defeat a Great Old One, but not truly kill them. At most, can simultaneously fight two. Probably. Mr. Fool said, if a complete pillar accommodates one more Sephiroth, they will lose control over their aggregation instincts and will consume more Sephiroth until they aggregate into the true creator, or original creator. Once this process begins, it can only be interrupted by their fall and division. So Klein can 2v1 if he's fully rezzed by then. If he, in this current state, I wouldn't even trust him to take one. As for the first level above this sequence, Great Old Dominators, they can still accommodate another Sephiroth that are similar or have adjacent symbolisms, making them equal to one of the pillars, though they still won't possess the symbolism of one. It seems the apocalypse is unavoidable and inevitable. Don't think that sending away the Sephiroth would prevent the apocalypse, Madam Magician said. Let's not even discuss whether the current owners of the Sephiroth are willing, but those outer deities would need all the uniquenesses of the corresponding pathways and Sequence 1 characteristics from each pathway, while accommodating the corresponding Sephiroth. Should we have true gods and archangels commit suicide or find ways to lower their status? Sequence 1 was often referred to as archangels. Even if we overcome all difficulties and reach an agreement on similar matters, the world doesn't destroy itself through internal strife. The apocalypse would come. You should know that Godhood's tone is fundamentally madness and chaos, filled with desires of destruction and creation. Those outer deities have waited for thousands or tens of thousands of years. They will not spare our planet. Once the barrier is damaged, even if their attention is focused on the Sephiroth uniqueness and characteristics, it would be unbearable for other Beyonders, the ordinary people on our planet. For example, the Monarch of Decay would naturally cause the entire planet and living beings to start decaying, eventually rotting to death or becoming disgusting creatures loyal only to him. And without necessary resistance, the mere approach of the Supernova Dominator would tear the planet apart. At that time, those two above the sequences will be watched, and above and below Sequence 2, not many Beyonders have the ability to survive in space. Sequence 2 is probably the sequence that is most likely to survive the apocalypse. But for most Sequence 2 angels, it would be extremely difficult to cross space, resist various dangers, and fight a planet for subsequent survival. Madam Magician was telling Lumion that once a house collapsed, most people inside would die. Lumion then said, is it possible to find common desires among multiple outer deities throughout the Sephiroth that would satisfy the most or incite internal strife amongst them, let them wound each other, and make the wounded ones retreat, reducing their numbers? But the victorious ones would become more powerful. It's impossible to assess whether this would be equivalent to them being driven away. Mr. Fool, who had been silent, suddenly spoke. Actually, there is a hidden fourth pillar. It is when Lumion has sex with Kami's mom and becomes the father of the universe. A hidden fourth pillar? Madam Magician was shocked. She had never heard this before. Lumion was equally surprised. Alright, I'm playing Nintendo music. Oh, no. I saw. Okay, listen. You had your fun with last time. Okay, I get to have some fun with you now, brother. It's only fair, Kami. You take shots at me, I take shots at you. It's only fair. Kami's dude, that's the concern, right? Kami has such unyielding power over me. Kami is genuinely like in my stream. It feels like I am a sequence 2 of a pathway, and Kami is the true god of that pathway. Like he has like unyielding power over me. He's like, say something bad right now. I will fuck your day up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. She had never heard this before, and LEMMiNO was equally surprised. Dude, the crazy bus title screen, huh? Mr. Foolin said this world was born of chaos. Besides the astral world's dominator and the spirit world's lord and the reality sovereign, there's another symbolism that represents the endpoint of destiny. The destruction of the universe and the finale of all things. Under such symbolism, even the celestial worthy and the mother goddess of depravity would perish. Their spirits no longer existing, all returning to chaos. Of course, the fourth pillar would meet the same fate, not much later than us. Or rather, its self-destruction would bring all termination. Mr. Fool, what Sephiroth does this correspond to? Formed by the convergence of 2 Sephiroth, the City of Calamity and the River of Eternal Darkness. Damn. Evernight. Fork it over. Fork it over right now. Right now. Madam Magician looked immediately at Lumion. Lumion's heart stirred, raising his hand and gazing at the pitch-black pinhole in his palm. The best way to transcend the sequences is to first become a Sequence 0 true god of one pathway, then accommodate the corresponding Sephiroth, followed by the uniqueness of another path under the Sephiroth and the Sequence 1 characteristic, with no ritual to assist. This is the general approach, though some pathways have their own unique details like Demoness and Hunter. But ultimately, one must become a true god of a pathway to accommodate a Sephiroth, not become a dual pathway true god before attempting. The latter has hope of success, but not great. When the Red Priest of the Primordial Demoness accommodates the City of Calamity and continues to occupy the neighboring pathway, his uniqueness and Sequence 1 characteristic becoming the origins of disaster or the calamity of destruction. And then accommodate the River of Eternal Darkness along with its pathway's uniqueness and Sequence 1 characteristics, they can become a hidden fourth pillar, becoming the end point of destiny, or the universe's destroyer. Conversely, the Sequence 0 true god of darkness, death, and twilight can also become the hidden fourth pillar, starting from accommodating the River of Eternal Darkness. The Evernight goddess has already obtained the uniqueness of the Twilight Giant and Death pathway and grasps the required Sequence 1 characteristics, deepening her connection with that Sephiroth by using the tributary leaked from the seal through the Underworld Taoist and the River of Eternal Darkness. Through the Underworld Taoist, Lumion understood why the Church of the Evernight emphasized had with Amandina. In the past half a year, she hadn't had much contact with her, but knew her general situation. If Evernight or Lumion has to go, not assuming that it's a 50-50 of like they have an equal chance of accommodating and becoming that hidden pillar, the answer is obviously Evernight. It has to be her. But it's going to be some old bullshit of like, oh well, actually, because Calamity is the specific part, you need to actually be a god of those pathways first before accommodating the River of Eternal Darkness, because darkness comes after the Calamity. If you choose to do it the other way around, your chances of crazy madness go way higher. Hence, the goddess would not be a great candidate to do so. Now, before anyone says it, yes, I have pre-read these chapters. I did actually read these in my off time. I do know what's going to happen. That is how I guessed that spot on. I am kind of that goated with the sauce. Yes. Thank you so much. I understand you're upset, but I had to let you know, okay? But that voice is goddamn annoying. I apologize, but... The Church of the Evernight had directly established contact with the Underworld Taoist student, personally managed by Mr. Starr. The current Diamondina had obtained the Sequence 5 Spirit Medium's ingredients and was digesting the Spirit Warlock potion, preparing for her advancement, waiting to receive a new round of boons at the end of the year. Her relationship with the Church had become quite close. As LEMMiNO's word, Mr. Wu continued, "You should have realized that the hidden fourth pillar is related to the universe's destruction, the termination of all things, and would not normally appear. As for whether we need to wait for the universe reaches its end before the river of calamity and river of eternal darkness city of calamity and river of eternal darkness can merge and give birth to a fourth pillar, or if the fourth pillar can forcibly be born through congregation and bring about the universe and all things destruction, unless he immediately falls into slumber or passively splits, everything will perish. I do not know. But the deity worshipped by the Aurora Order currently leans more towards the latter." So it can be done. So it can be done. Who in this series isn't? Bug. By your logic, Klein is a Nepo baby because, wow, the fucking goddess is watching over you right away. Okay, buddy. You spawn in, you immediately have control of a Sephiroth. Okay, fucking Mr. Moneybags over here. Okay. Lumion, oh well. So Amon was helping you right from the start? The fucking the primordial God, the God Almighty is watching over you? Okay, buddy. Wow. Right? Like, it's crazy. Only Adam made it by himself? We don't know. We don't know. What if, imagine though, what if he didn't? What if he didn't? What if he was a researcher at Chernobyl, caused Chernobyl, the radiation leaked out, the radiation killed the original creator, and he is the guy who killed him, got a whole bunch of characteristics right off the bat, right? And he's like, whoa, huge. And you're gonna say, wow, fuck off. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. This is my headcanon. Let me enjoy it. In other words, the hidden fourth pillar will either be unable to be born for a long time, or can only be used as a final option for mutual destruction. Lumion then pondered the purpose and implications of Mr. Fool's explanation. For me, this knowledge is so meaningless. Or perhaps I can first jump to sequence 1 of Death or Twilight to better borrow the power of 001, narrowing the gap between myself and Medici. What? But you can't be... Oh, I guess you could. I guess you could be a sequence 1 of the Death Pathway. Dude, imagine a Reaper with the power of death. Dude genuinely becomes the Grim Reaper. If I could defeat this Angel of Kings of Angels and obtain 2 sequence 1 characteristics of the Hunter Path from him, then find a way to lower my status, expel the sequence 1 characteristic, return to Weather Warlock, then re-advance, becoming a King of Angels of the Hunter Path, accommodate 001, lowering my status, wait, what? And re-advancing has significant risks and hidden dangers, but it's much better than competing with Medici at sequence 2. However, I won't challenge Medici head-on. I'm a major arcana holder. No, a patron saint of the Church of the Fool. We are all of collective strength, so why would I fight you head-on? After Frank and Jenna's advancements, if the ritual is difficult or beyond our characteristics unavailable, they could switch to Darkness, Death, or Twilight? Is that true? But they're under different Sephiroths. There's no way. They're under different Sephiroths. There's no way he can just be like, nah, fuck it, we'll just switch. Like, probably fine. You forgot Salinger was literally Hunter and Death? I don't know if I knew that, bro. You might have spoiled me there. Mods? Can we shoot that man? He spoiled me there, for sure. It's a spoiler. No, it's a spoiler, Kami. Kami, it's a spoiler. Trust. I don't know this. Both Sephiroth are a pillar. You can switch between pathways. Huge. Okay, that's actually huge, though. We knew this from book 1, pretty sure. Pretty sure you're lying. That's why Leonard can go to Demoness. That's why Leonard has gone to Demoness. Have you seen the fucking eyeshadow on that motherfucker in the Donghua? I think they're telling us something, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you. After switching to a hidden pathway, or to a hidden neighboring pathway, if you don't expel the corresponding characteristic, you'll be unable to accommodate the Cipher in the future, and you'll be rejected by the belonging Cipher. Also, after becoming a weather warlock, your destiny has become chaotic and full of change. I'm not omniscient, nor omnipotent. I can no longer see things as clearly, and can only remind you to be careful. When he advanced to weather warlock, Lumion had already confirmed the remaining imprint of Alista Tudor had not been strengthened or revived within him. From that point on, he knew Alista's resurrection arrangements would emerge and erupt in subsequent events, and were currently unforeseeable. Mr. Fool's warning deepened his vigilance in this aspect. An arrangement that even great old ones cannot provide guidance into must be extraordinarily complex. Fours, who had chatted with Mr. Fool often and knew his last statement that today's small gathering, or common knowledge lesson of the new angel, should conclude. You should now understand the current situation and the source of the apocalypse. Analyze things forward, and analyzing things forward will allow you to see their essence. As an angel, more senior than you by several years, let me share 3 final experiences. First, be a bum bitch as often as possible. It has yielded a measurable benefit to me. I'm not lying, guys. It says that in the book. Word for word, I'm reading that. First, a previous sequence must be acted upon again because the potion you consume contains characteristics from all previous sequences. More importantly, you need to make up for the acting of Iron-Blooded Knight and War Bishop. Hunter, Provoker, Pyromaniac, Conspirer, and Reaper can all be naturally and effectively digested in future battles or wars. But he made her such a lazy bum he couldn't find a way to reasonably get her killed. Someone has told me this in book 1 as well. I don't know if this is true or you guys are lying to me, but I believe in my heart of hearts that it's true. Second, travel to different regions to improve local weather and leave behind legends. This is not only necessary for digesting your potion, but also a must-do to spread faith and obtain anchors. Third, Mr. Fool has already explained the difference between Godhead and humanity. Combining my own experiences, one insight I do have is that humans are lazy bitches, so be one. Distinguishing between normal desires brought about by the second layer of humanity and the abnormal desires created by the first layer of humanity and godhood. Resist the latter, guide the former, do not be too suppressed or constrained, nor can you be greedy or indulgent. Thank you, Madam Magician, Mr. Force, Mr. Lumion said. If you have any more insights in this area later, please tell me, Madam Force said. I need to prepare for my Sequence 1 advancement. Let's go! Hold on, I need to get another drink. Kami, you're not gonna like the fucking jokes I make about your mom by the time the second drink is finished, brother. Damn, it's not looking good for you, I'm not gonna lie. As long as you read, I don't give a shit. Well, says the guy threatening me with fucking Nintendo music, so I don't know about all that. Sequence 1 of the Door Pathway, Lumion asked. In his view, Sequence 2 Planeswalker of the Door Pathway was the sequence most likely to survive the apocalypse. First, before reaching Sequence 1, they wouldn't specifically be targeted by the outer deities. Second, they possessed the ability for space travel and could carry a number of people. Afterwards, they could find a planet in a remote area of the universe and with stable conditions, and use their recording abilities of characteristics of different paths to make it habitable. Yes, Key of Stars. The characteristic and supplementary ingredient are not lacking. The Abraham family has long wanted to give them to me. The price is to protect their clan, prevent the Abraham name from going extinct, ensure at least one Sequence 1 angel is born amongst them. Afterwards, if the apocalypse comes, my first task will be to transfer them away. The good news is that they now have several saints. The bad news is they are far from digestion. Sequence 3 wanderers still need to travel in space to digest quickly. The ritual itself isn't complicated. Wait. Does this imply that... Yeah, Chris, I'm just at the end of this chapter. I'll update it now. I'll update it as soon as I'm done. Wait, does this imply Ford spent a long time traveling the universe? What? The ritual isn't complicated. Finding a continuously rotating signal-emitting heavy planet, approach it, land on it, and find a way to establish sufficient mystical connections with it. The first part of the ritual is quite dangerous, the latter part extremely so. With Mr. Fool's help, these aren't problems. He can graft me onto the corresponding planet to satisfy the condition, and under the premise that I can withstand the pressure. The current problem is that my Planeswalker potion hasn't completely digested. These years have been going everywhere. The number of times is enough. The term walker is satisfied, and none of it counts as planeswalking. She's a bum. She's a bum. At this point, Madame Magician closed her mouth. She felt like she was complaining about work, and her direct superior, who could crush her, was sitting at the head of the table. Listening to her words, Lumion discovered a problem. Mr. Fool doesn't have to deal with subsequent planetary apocalypse, because no outer deity would compete for Sephira Castle. Accommodating this Sephira with its pillar symbolism would lead only to self-destruction. Do you remember the gravity planet ability she used versus that Sequence 2 bum angel? No. Klein wants... Yeah, I love how they're like, wait, Klein is so goated? He's just doing this because he wants to fucking fight great old ones? Does he know that his family's all dead and he's fighting for nothing? He's just fighting because he wants to kill people? Crazy. This guy's a fucking lunatic. Everyone's gonna say, oh, what are you talking about? Melissa and Benson are alive. He even has a nephew or niece now. You guys don't know? They're dead. They died. They all died. All of them. That's why Cuttlefish didn't mention them in this book. They're all gone. I should have mentioned this. I'm sorry. You know what, Uth? I'm proud of you, buddy. That was good. Madam Magician forcibly changed the topic. If the apocalypse truly arrives in 1368... No. Do it again. I like it. Listen, I am a dickhead, okay? So be a dick back, okay? I got no problems with it. Fuck it. Listen. My biggest pet peeve in the universe is people who are assholes and like say shit, and then as soon as someone says something, they're like, "But that's not nice." I can't do that shit. Okay, listen. If I'm gonna be an asshole to you guys, you're gonna be an asshole right back. I'm not fucking no problem. The fucking dickheads were like, oh wow, you know, fucking. You know why you're walking around all fucking busted up like that? It's because I beat the fuck out of you yesterday. And you're like, oh, what? You want to fight? And they go, but that's unreasonable. How could you even suggest such a thing? Have you no boundaries? We live in a civilized society. And you're like, why the fuck are you like this, bro? Those people are actual cancer AIDS. Keep them the fuck away from me. I will need to rush my advancement. In a few years, Mr. Fool should be awake, then unlock the seal on the western continent, allowing more above the sequences to be born. At that time, even if we're at a disadvantage when the apocalypse comes, we'll have the power to protect ourselves. Without the uncertain mist mediating, those outer deities won't be able to cooperate well, and must guard against being other deities' prey after being wounded. Unfortunately, there's not much time left. I can only quickly advance to Sequence 1. As a Sequence 1 angel of the door path, My chances of survival during the apocalypse are much higher than other pathways. After all, those deities haven't set their target on Cipher Castle. Do they want self-destruction? Her thoughts were similar to Lumine's, believing that Cipher Castle and its subordinate pathways were most likely not the targets of other sequences, or other outer deities. Even if she became a Sequence 1 Key of Stars, she wouldn't be targeted specifically. No matter what, even if purely for self-preservation and protecting the people closest to her, Sequence 2 Planeswalker would be better than Sequence 1, less likely to be noticed, able to sneak away. Choosing to digest the potion in advance is to do more during the apocalypse, LEMMiNO understood. At this point, Mr. Fool said to Force, the Key of Stars will also become a target. Before I fully awaken, if the apocalypse arrives, no outer deity will want to see a true Lord of Mysteries be born, sealing the Sephiroth, taking away the corresponding uniqueness and characteristics, eliminating the possibility of the Spirit World Lord's return. Though they can't accommodate the Sephiroth Castle, occupying one or two of the uniquenesses and Sequence 1 characteristics is not a big deal. Their power will increase slightly and their abilities more diverse. Besides, just because they can't accommodate the castle doesn't mean there's no way for them to use it. Force fell silent. She didn't say she would consider it, nor did she immediately state her position of becoming an archangel. LEMMiNO was thinking of something else. Even if there was only 1 or 2 years remaining before the apocalypse, the Major Arcana holder's efforts and Mr. Fool's current awakening speed. By then, even if he hasn't awakened, it shouldn't be far off. As long as it doesn't actively prevent the outer deity's invasion, they would probably not try to provoke him intentionally. But he's clearly preparing to confront the apocalypse. Trier, inside the villa, LEMMiNO lay on the armchair, opening his eyes. He reached out his hand and touched his blood-red long hair, preparing to cut it short, but after thinking, abandoning the plan. LEMMiNO stood up and paced around the room, his mind filled with knowledge obtained above the grey fog. He now understood that his goal of becoming a Sequence 0 and attempting to accommodate the City of Calamity was not only necessary for Aurora's resurrection, but a requirement to transcend the sequences and face the apocalypse. In just a year or two to digest the Weather Warlock potion, become a Sequence 1 Archangel, then digest the potion, find a way to defeat Medici, perform the Apotheosis ritual, suppress the City of Calamity's consciousness to accommodate it, contest, possibly, with a primordial demoness. This is impossible. If my luck is bad, I probably can't even complete the first step of digesting the Weather Warlock. LEMMiNO merely imagined the upcoming tasks and felt his scalp go numb, believing there was no chance. Not to mention whether those steps could succeed. Brother, you have a timeline so long compared to Klein? Chill. Take a deep breath. You're doing fine. We're okay. We out here. We are out here. Have some fucking faith in yourself. Jesus. Digesting a demigod level potion by itself required a lot of time. LEMMiNO's previous rapid digestion of the Despair and Unaging potions was due to two factors: the deity worshipped by the Aurora Order, converting all previous arrangements into Despair, and second, leveraging Aurora's status as a transmigrator and her soul fragment being sealed within him. Now LEMMiNO could not see the opportunity for digesting the Weather Warlock potion, and that deity seemed to have made no arrangements in this regard. As an angel of the Hunter Path, LEMMiNO already possessed the steel-like willpower and fire-like courage. He quickly suppressed his instincts and retreat and fear, considering the first step of digesting the Weather Warlock. Based on his experience, there are two main approaches. First, through special encounters that adjust one's mental state and spiritual state to closely align with the potion. Second, by using a higher level Beyonder as an object of acting. The first is no longer possible. Those higher than my level are archangels, true gods, and great existences. And a Weather Warlock isn't meant to be acted out by people. Ask them to be spectators? Taking it a step further, change the weather in a true god's divine kingdom. As the next gathering, could I ask Mr. Fool's consent to add effects to the Major Arcana's discussion? Change the weather in the castle? I don't think that would work, right? Because wouldn't he also not be unable to digest his potion in because the corresponding feedback wouldn't break through Cipher Castle either, no? I feel like, didn't Klein have this problem? If you tried to do some acting within the castle, like even the digestion didn't work well because the Cipher was blocking that out. Oh, depends if Klein isolates. Oh, because Klein can control it now. You're right. I apologize. But so my thought process wasn't wrong. It was just I forgot to take that into account. Fair. With Lumin's initial thoughts taking shape, dude, change Leodaro's kingdom to a sunny day is hilarious. Can you imagine Leodaro sitting there sulking in the fucking corner? Fucking took my fucking lightning bolt away. I'm gonna fucking strike the fuck out of your ass once you're done. God damn it. Fucking piece of shit. If he wasn't telling me to do it, I swear to God, I would beat the bricks off you. But I'm stuck, so fuck it. This was a method that could help him digest the Weather Warlock potion as quickly as possible. Let at least a tutor resurrect within him, and after which he would no longer need to digest other potions. The only problem with that was that he would die and Aurora would not be brought back. I wonder what arrangements Alista has made. If there's a way to use these arrangements to quickly digest the Weather Warlock potion. Lumin thought for a while but found no insights, then considered Madam Magician's suggestion. Strengthen humanity, resist godhood, distinguish between normal and abnormal emotions, desires, and behaviors. Might as well treat the enemy as its own thing. Sequence 7 and 8 are able to blink and teleport. What are you guys saying? A sequence 7 and a sequence 8 can't teleport? What are you guys talking about? Did we read the same story? Of course they can. What? What? So you just like... I can't even teleport behind a guy who's 6 feet that way at a sequence 8? What are you talking about? Y'all are LARPers, bro. Have y'all even... Y'all don't even read this stuff. It's so sad. Okay. Anchors bring others' perceptions, and others' perceptions of me differ from my true self to an extent, a form of corruption that can make my thoughts, spirituality, and humanity chaotic, but can be used to balance and resist godhood, giving my true self and humanity a chance. If these are normal emotional responses that would arise from my own humanity, even if overlapping with godhood, they don't need to be suppressed. Is this a kind of fusion? Mr. Fu said in a dream city to both resist and merge, and in an angel stage, fusion is superficial, not obvious, mainly about suppression and resistance. Lumin examined himself, sorting through the emotions and desires, and after a while he knew what to do and to what extent what could strictly be controlled. Of course, having just advanced and not yet adapted, his state was unstable. Many things he could do now may be difficult, to potentially being driven to godhood into terrible developments, so he needed to digest the potion initially. Thinking this, Lumin, who had not used the Hunter Pathway's mental connection to speak to Franka, Jenna, and Ludwig. After becoming a Weather Warlock, at least the tutors and arrangements may begin to manifest. You must be more vigilant and attentive, especially regarding matters involving the Demoness sect. Mental communication will not transmit all inner thoughts or fleeting ideas to companions. It must be an intentional speak out for the information to resonate in everyone's mind. If Lumin were to share Manipulator's powers and attach it to mental connection, he would achieve a weakened version of the Hall of Truth effect. After hearing this, Lumin took out a mirror to divine which region was experiencing extreme weather. After getting the answer, he was about to teleport, but before, he had a new idea. Some ways to maintain and strengthen humanity can be done now. A wind rose, blowing open the bedroom window. Then Lumen sensed the spirit world coordinates of the target area while picking up a coat rack in the room and hurling it to the sky. The coat rack ignited into purple-bluish flames, racing to the horizon. Lumen leapt slightly, it leaping out the window and landing precisely on the burning coat rack. Then, with his feet slightly apart and his hands clasped behind his back and his coat fluttering, he rode the flame-engulfed coat rack, which was now faster than the speed of sound and still accelerating. We have a coat rack going Mach 2. Implying that Lumen can throw an object faster than the speed of sound. Not even implying it, literally stating it. Bro, he should have kept that. He should have kept the Sword of Courage. Imagine? Dude, imagine. A sequence 3 stands before Lumion. And he's like, fuck, I gotta escape. This guy's an angel. Before he even has a thought of escaping, a sequence 4 a grade 1 artifact is hurled at the speed of sound into your chest. As you're like, I gotta escape. Check COI artwork. What do you got? True. I don't even need to watch it. I know what's happening. Dude, genuinely, this is me right now. You're not even lying, bro. Genuinely, I'm tweaking. This is why I don't stream this late. I get... Also doesn't help the fact that I'm drinking Coca-Cola. As you go. In the second floor studio, Franca, distracted from her creation by Lumen's warning, heard a booming sound. Wearing the face of Arcane, she stepped to the window and looked at the azure sky in time to see Lumen standing on a flaming great sword, hands behind his back, disappearing from her field of view. Her expression filled with envy. She sighed. In the first papal office, Jenna had been worried about the negative effects of Franca's fully automatic healing machine, which would make every healed person upon recovery filled with a desire to reproduce. Her solution was to have the padres and bishops treat common illnesses, pray to the god of disease for serious conditions, and subsequently, for those families and partners, have the sick church handle the economic losses from childbirth. For those without partners, consider matchmaking, and if that failed, let Anthony handle it. Hearing this sonic boom which came from the window, she looked out and saw Lumien's traveling in his arrogant manner, and she smiled, feeling that Lumien's state had improved. High in the cloud layers, the wooden coat rack beneath Lumien's feet burning with flames did not turn to ash like it was truly heat resistant. An ability a hunter possessed, since the Iron-Blooded Knight stage weaponizing ordinary effects, transforming them to lethal tools. At an angelic level, Lumen could now make wood, paper, and similar materials temporarily reach the strength of a Sword of Courage, ensuring they would not instantly dissolve under his flames and explosions, allowing a hunter's fireball to have a carrier and divert some power to constantly accelerate, bombing the target area from a distance at several times the speed of sound. At an Iron-Blooded stage, this remote range was 5 to 10 kilometers. For him, though, it became hundreds or thousands. Drink less soda and more water? Coke is like 90% water, bro. I'm like 70% water. Your mom is 100% wet, though. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I literally can't help myself. I genuinely don't know. Like, I don't know why I'm like this. However, this was not very useful in actual combat. Even if the weapon carrying the fireball flew quickly, adding an extremely long distance would still require a certain time to reach the target. Not to mention Angel and Saints, even mid-sequencers with strong intuition could could detect it in advance and cover the potentially covered area in time and escape the covered area in time. The current level of fog of war could not attach and follow. LEMMiNO could divert a small portion of his psyche to merge with a fireball or weapon, allowing them to change directions, but at such an operation, when done from too far, it always lacked a level of precision. The greatest use of such an attack was only to destroy fixed targets. For LEMMiNO, it was completely incomparable to a mystical long-range attack delivered through the mirror world. But LEMMiNO looked at the coat rack beneath his feet, burning like a giant sword, then glanced at the blown open white clouds in the city below, and listened to the sonic boom, and laughed. How fucking cool! Without considering conspiracies, a hunter must be arrogant, or how could you provoke others? A violent blue light with a human figure standing atop traversed the sky quickly, leaving behind a blast that made houses and glass violently tremble. How much property damage do you guys figure LEMMiNO just did in that time? I'm thinking like a couple thousand Louis d'Or, maybe tens of thousands. Boys, I'm not gonna lie to you, this stream is gonna run late. Well, it's not like anything broke. There was a sonic boom, Chris. Windows shattered, I promise they did. This stream is gonna run so fucking long, bro. Looking at the increasingly yellow... besides a mountainside village where rain was pouring, the river had overflowed with yellowish water, surging towards the not-so-large city in the distance. The city's residents were anxious, worried that the floods would erupt and affect their living space, many villagers having already climbed to the second floor or onto their roofs because of the rising water. Looking at the increasingly yellow flood waters, the villagers grew more and more worried. Suddenly, they heard a bang and looked up. They saw a light, violet like a meteor, hovering above and stopping, with what seemed like a person standing atop, with red hair. This person, riding a flaming sword, began moving amidst the rising water vapor and dense rain, with a powerful, high-strung movement. A divine being dancing in the sky. Villagers nearby and city dwellers in the distance all had the same thought, a ritual. A ritual to pray to some existence. The ritual dance became more and more intense, and all who saw seemed to hear the thumping of drum beats. The drums of liberation! As the divine being danced, the rain diminished, and the dark clouds in the sky dispersed, and in the end the rain stopped. Rays of sunlight shone upon the villagers. The divine being stopped the dance, and the sword beneath his feet disappeared. With a magnificent voice he proclaimed to the mere humans below, "My name. Family to the king of yellow and black. Priest of weather and plague. The dual-bodied one who spreads war and chaos. Among those born high and raised in religious societies, a large portion bowed their heads and shouted, 'Praise be, priest of weather and plague! Praise be to thee for sending away the calamity!' And by the time they had raised their heads, the divine being had vanished. Trier, inside the villa, LEMMiNO's figure outlined itself, and he felt that his potion had digested a bit. The effect of this act was much stronger than changing the weather of 3 regions immediately after advancement. Previously, I was doing good deeds unknown, lacking directional feedback. A weather warlock must let others know he's a warlock. This is wrong, though. This doesn't seem like a warlock. This seems like a god. A warlock and god are different. A warlock is like, well, I'm just a humble warlock who reside. A much better way to do this would be like to move into an area and be like the warlock of the area. Be like, wow, that guy's a mysterious warlock. And then there's like a hurricane. Fucking, I'm not even gonna lie. Create a hurricane. And then everyone goes, shit. And then you show up and then you say, Mr. Fool, I pray to you. And then you do like all kinds of dances, or like, no, I push back the fucking hurricane or whatever. And they're like, oh, the warlock is goated. A weather warlock must let people know they are a warlock, or understood, otherwise it's not an act. The people in those 3 regions probably think it was a local faith god's protection, praising those gods, not me. It can't be too simple to change the weather. Even if it doesn't substantially take effect, the ritual must be there. The audience must feel that I use great effort to change the weather, or I'd be acting as a god of weather instead of a warlock. Positioning the warlock as a priest of weather should be fine. Also, hunter represent the initial masculine, robust, highly aggressive side. Looking at it this way, my arrogance and conspicuousness should sometimes be a conspiracy and an acting requirement. Combining the feedback from the different performances, LEMMiNO grasped a key point. No, I'm good. It's not those kind of hiccups, Chris. A weather warlock's performance cannot be low-key. Hiding behind the scenes, doing good deeds is not a hunter's style. Moreover, though the sequence name of weather warlock had no clear intention, good or bad, based on the fact that the hunter pathway represented a war and was one of the 2 components of calamity, and drawing from previous sequences, LEMMiNO suspected that the hidden acting principle might be bringing disaster by changing the weather. Bringing disaster to enemies by changing the weather will be a key focus of future acts. Better yet, we go back to the Rue Anarchy, okay? And we find some guy who hated LEMMiNO, and LEMMiNO hates, and he goes, "You're my fucking enemy, bro," okay? And then you cause a hurricane, and you cause that guy's house to blow over. 60% digestion right there. Huge. His extremely flamboyant travel this time was partly to satisfy his inner desires and maintain and expand his humanity, and partly to provoke other arrangements by at least a Tudor or Medici. Probably LEMMiNO going past you, Kami. A screw just came from above me. Do you have like a fan in your room, maybe, by chance? No? Could just be like, if you live in an apartment, could just be. I have a bunk bed above my desk though. Might be. Yeah, then it's definitely from that, bro. Unfortunately, under Mr. Fo's gaze and the situation not being too chaotic, nothing happened. Every hunter is a qualified schemer and wouldn't be so easily trapped. Feeling disappointment, but in much better condition, LEMMiNO left the room intending to pour himself a glass of absinthe. Franca heard the movement and walked out the workshop. She had let the face of the arcane fall back into slumber. She glanced at LEMMiNO and said, "Oh, can your previous sword riding abilities be shared?" Sword riding? Although LEMMiNO had been in a dream city for half a month, his exposure to information couldn't be too comprehensive. However, he associated it with his coat rack flying and said, "Got it. Yes, it can. It's formed by combining the ability to weaponize any object and the ability to manipulate fireballs. Though I can only share one ability with you at a time. They don't need to be used simultaneously to complete it." "Can I try now?" Franca said. "Of course. But remember, 10-kilometer radius. Weaponized items won't quickly return to normal and get damaged, but once you exceed the team's effective distance, you lose control of the flame." Fine, Franca said. She thought for a moment and said, "To go beyond 10 kilometers, you'd have to stay with me, not creating distance." "Well, you can stand on the back half of the sword. The leader of the team must necessarily be a hunter. If a team has more than one hunter, only one led, the highest sequence one." "That's right," Franca said. "Let's start. First, have a quick spin in 10-kilometer radius. Then we'll ride swords through the sky. Bring Jenna along." Was my armrest? But how did an armrest come from above you? If your chair's armrest, that'd be below you. What? Am I dumb? I just heard it. Oh, I see. Okay. False. Okay, false advertising. I was given wrong information. I was given wrong information. This is why 96% of fraud cases go unfilled. Wrong information. This is a fun fact. 96% of fraud cases go unfulfilled. I'm not saying you should commit fraud. I'm just saying if you do, there's a 96% chance you don't get caught. In the US at least. Just as she was saying this, Franca sensed something and took out a makeup mirror from her hidden clothing pocket. She took it out while telling Lumen, my only subordinate sent a message. The sick church had multiple priests and bishops. Okay, we are in Canada. I gotta imagine it's something similar. Our fucking police force is a fucking bomb, bro. The only thing those fucking police officers can do is like, you were actually going 127 in 100 zone, so you're getting a ticket. Bitch! Have you seen the state of this country? We got more important shit. Go do something fucking important, bro. What are you fucking standing out here? Fucking wasted my tax dollars, bro. Although the Sikh church had many priests and bishops, and the market district had gang leaders at Franca's disposal, the only one who actually led them assigned tasks and received reports was Jenna. Franca's true subordinate was only one person, the witch Nicaea. Of course, Nicaea was now a demoness of pleasure. Stay alert, Lumen cautioned. Franca nodded. Then, while seeing a light on the mirror surface unfold into Intesian, Louis Gustave has mysteriously disappeared. We can go 20 over US. Stats from the US barely count. We can go over 20 here in the US. You can't do that. Louis Gustave has disappeared. Franca's eyes narrowed. The leader of the Emperor Party. The man secretly plotting to overthrow the government. With some connection to the Emperor, to the Mirror World Roselle. In the Maison d'Opera district, Rue de Champeau Noir, and the district with in an apartment with drawn curtains. We are making it a 99. What? How dare you? I just ordered food. I will finish these chapters if my life depends on it. I made a promise. I am finishing this book this weekend. I don't care what happens. I am not gonna die. Yeah, we're at 1094. We're not even that far, bro. In the Maison d'Opera, Nicaea, with her hair pulled up, wearing an off-shoulder black dress and a thin gauze shawl, placed the makeup mirror, given by her subordinate, on the cabinet in front and waited for feedback. But 30 seconds later, she saw a figure traced within the mirror step out. The person had slightly blackened, somewhat flaxen-colored hair tied into a ponytail, and lake blue eyes. Where did Louis Gustave disappear? Franca asked. Although she had become a demoness of pleasure, Nicaea was still dazzled by her beauty. She unconsciously compared Madame Franca with the demoness of black she had seen, discovering that she didn't like to change her temperament much, always trying to find the most attractive side for her conversation partner, remaining straightforward and natural. It was precisely this and the casual state that made Franca uniquely charming, combined with her nonchalant expression and high-ranking status. Louis Gustave arranged to meet several core members of the Emperor Party, including Gros, in a secret mine in underground Trier yesterday to discuss the developments and to discuss the developing members within the army, and as a result, everyone arrived, but he did not. From yesterday until now, Gros and the others have tried many methods to contact him, but have gotten no response. Nicaea was not only Gros's mistress, but also gradually become a person close to the core of the party due to her talent. It seems Louis had truly met with an accident and was not being delayed, but considering missing. Franca asked, has anything unusual happened within the party? No. In recent months, whether it's the EBS, the God of Steam and Machinery, Bureau 8, or the military, they have increased the number of official Beyonders in Trier. You may find it hard to believe, but the patrols in underground Trier are now led by Sequence 5 Beyonders, team after team. In the first 2 months, the party was making small moves, resulting in many members being exposed, suffering many losses. But now we have been well behaved, only covertly developing and expanding. Previously, Louis and Groves met, knowing each other. They knew each other's residence and would occasionally discuss matters at fixed cafes. But after nearly being caught, Louis moved from his original residence and was now carefully commanding core members remotely. I see. This is significant. I will report to the Demoness of Black, Franca said. Stand by. Yes, Madam Franca, Nicaea said. Only the lingering faint fragrance of Franca remained as she gradually faded into the air. In the luxurious villa, Franca ended her projection and turned to Lumion. Ever since you advanced, I now see everything as a trap. Nicaea's report could be a trap from the Demoness sect, and Louis Gustave's disappearance could be a trap from the Mirror people. Never mind, I'll just report the matter is significant, and request the Demoness of Black's for handling. If I don't get involved, I won't fall into a trap. In the Demoness sect, Franca was still nominally a Demoness of Despair and a subordinate of the Demoness of Black. Of course, the truth couldn't be hidden from the Primordial. Is this what you call upward management? Lumion chuckled. If it's a trap, the Demoness of Black certainly won't let you shirk responsibility. If it's not, you still have, she should still have you conduct an investigation. I know. Hey there! Aw, thank you, dude. You didn't have to do that. Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Seriously, you didn't have to. As always, memberships are not expected from anyone, but I do super appreciate them. They make, they make it a lot easier to stream. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Heather. I know, Frank sighed. I was just venting. What if the Demoness of Black actually goes to investigate herself? People, after all, must live with hope and anticipation. Bug, like I said, man, it's not expected from anyone at all. There's no like, oh wow, like, oh you're not, you've been, like, none of that, okay, fuck it. The fact that you guys are here, literally the fact that there's 10 people in chat, okay? Literally fucking there's 10 people in stream, there's like 5 people in chat, okay? So like, every single one of you, I'm so thankful to you for just being here. There's like absolutely zero expectation from my side, okay? Literally zero at all. You guys know this? I hope I've made that clear, and I hope no one ever feels like, it's like I should be doing this. No. Nothing like that ever, okay? It's not for you. I just want to fuck you. Okay. Why are you so mean, bro? What if I don't have such fucking dickheads around me, bro? You're so mean. I feel like, yeah, I make jokes, but I feel like I'm such a nice person, and I just have fucking dickheads around me all the time. I feel you will maintain your humanity quite well in the future, Lumion said to Franca. I know, buddy. Why suddenly did talk about humanity? Are you troubled by godhood? Franca asked. After speaking, she took out a mirror. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Oh, I just sobered up. What the fuck? She took out a makeup mirror and verbally confirmed the information about Roselle Gustave's disappearance. No. Kami, my neighbors smoke a lot. They smoke, not like cigarettes, but they smoke weed a lot. Like, a lot. And, like, they're probably smoking in their house or, like, maybe on their deck or whatever. And I can smell it in my, because I have my window, like, it's kind of slightly open for the AC in my room. And, like, I can smell it over here. Fuck, man. Jesus. Sorry, I hate the smell of marijuana. Like, I don't have any problem with people smoking it, like, you do you, whatever, but, like, I don't know, the smell of it is, like, really yucky to me. I don't like it. After speaking, she took out a mirror and transmitted the information about Louis' disappearance and Nicaea's report, transmitting it through the mirror world to the Demoness of Black. After Franca finished this matter, Lumion briefly explained Mr. Fool's interpretation of godhood and humanity. So that's why you suddenly proposed hugging? You were unable to control the aggregation and destructive desire? No, because I hugged Jenna, and it should be fair, Lumion said. What you said also did have some influence, Lumion said. Franca hummed in response and burst into laughter. What's so funny, Lumion said. As a fellow hometown native, I've always supported your sister's creative work and read many of her novels. Her descriptions are quite cringy, and there's one line that goes something like, "He hugged me tightly, very forcefully, as if afraid of losing me, wanting to crush me and tuck me into his body." My goodness, isn't this so cringy? It's clearly a horror description. Seeing Franca wasn't too frightened and even joking, Lumion's inner pressure seemed to diminish. Aurora deliberately intensified the cringe. She said Intesians love this style. By the way, did those works exist in the old era? You could say the story concepts and ideas are similar, but without being a savant, how could one exactly reproduce them? Moreover, your sister integrated current societal trends and folklore, making it entirely different works. Not like because someone previously wrote about transmigration. Me writing about transmigration makes it plagiarism. It smells like yeah, exactly. Hey there. Okay, you're like the first person I've ever had that shares this take. It smells so similar to a skunk to me, and I'm like, ew, it's just disgusting. But like, everyone else is like, no, it's completely different. You know, you just don't know, okay? And like, listen, man, I don't smoke. I don't. Again, no shade from my side if you do it. Hey, fucking all you, man, whatever, your life. But like, I just don't do it. And like, but I've always felt like it smells so similar to skunk. Where does one find a skunk? Generally by the side of the road. That's the one thing it is. Dude, literally everyone I've ever talked to says like, it doesn't smell like anything like that. Maybe because I only talk to weed, maybe because I only talk about weed with weed smokers and they're like, I don't know, it just doesn't. You leaving, Oren? Bye, buddy. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. I know it's late as fuck for you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming. I just didn't want to skip what? I just didn't want to skip stream today, but thank you so much for coming, man. I know it's late as fuck for you. Thank you. I see, Lillian said. At this moment, the Demoness of Black responded. Find effective clues ASAP. Yes, madame, Franca responded. After pondering for a few moments, she set a new order to Nicaea. Search for clues, try to find Roselle Gustave's residence. Preferably, obtain some items related to Roselle Gustave and bring them to me. This way, Franca could perform magic mirror divination and even seek counsel from Mr. Fool. After issuing the command, Lumion laughed. Still doing sword-riding things? Of course, Franca said. The apocalypse is near. We must cherish daily happiness and satisfactions, she muttered to herself. We can't abandon daily life because some dangerous things will happen. A week later, at midnight, Nicaea slid off the bed, stood upright, and merged with the darkness. Glancing at the muscular, middle-aged man on the bed, naked and only partially covered by a blanket, and after a few seconds, before leaving the bedroom, soundlessly and entering the room in the furthest corner of the second floor. Literally same time for me, Chris. Fuck. She then took out a special makeup mirror, used the spell given by her superior, and sent the information in the designated mirror. Shino reporting at this hour would disturb Madame Franca's rest, but the situation was urgent, and if she waited till dawn, Gruz would take those two items back and she had no choice. Shortly after, Franca's figure was projected from the makeup mirror. She wore a silk nightgown with a thin outer jacket for cover, her slightly black flaxen-colored hair cascading down, her expression unbanishedly lazy and drowsy. What is it? Franca spoke. Madam, I have obtained two items closely related to Louis Gustave. These were found at his previous hideout. As she spoke, Nicaea raised her hand. On one hand, she held a silver brooch made of two intertwined snakes, and on the other, a dark gold coin. Seeing the latter, Franca became alert. She used spider silk to pull the coin. On the one side of the coin was simple, bearing the number 2, and on the other had a complex pattern. The main body was a crowned figure with a hanging cloak. To the left of the crown was a sketched layered gate. To the right, a clock face with only one hand. Its grid size unequal, with light and dark entwining, layering to the crown with the layers below tiny flower pattern elements. A vertical pupil, 5 fingers of varying lengths, and a door split by a vertical longsword. A Tudor coin, Franca said. Very similar to the coin they had obtained from the Sick Church, but with a value of 2. The patterns and details essentially the same between the coins, but their expressions differing. After confirming the dark coin was indeed a Tudor coin with a 2 domination, Franca cursed the Elisa Tudor. Why is such a significant difference in patterns when it's just a different denomination? They're essentially the same fucking thing. Nicaea, unaware of this, her superior's peculiarity, continued to describe. This brooch is a Gustav family item, made according to the family crest, one of Louis's most prized possessions. Normally he carries it with him, but this time he left it behind. This ancient gold coin and the brooch were kept together and seemed equally important. Under the pull of the spider silk, the brooch seemed to intertwine and fly towards Franca. Franca was not unfamiliar with the Gustav family crest, and after a quick glance she confirmed its authenticity and chuckled. A DNA double helix? Clearly, the Roselle Gustav crest originated from a masterpiece during the period of Roselle Gustav. Nicaea looked up at her superior and said, "Madame, after you complete the divination, can you return these items to me? I stole them, and if I don't return them promptly, I will definitely be suspected." "No problem," Franca said. Louis Gustav's mysterious disappearance is related to the Tudor coin. After taking the Gustav family brooch and coin out of the mirror, Franca conveyed this information to Lumion, who was presumably still sleeping. A few seconds later, Lumion opened his bedroom door and walked into Franca's room. Everyone in the villa was a demigod, possessing strong intuition, and noticed the commotion and went to Franca's room as well. The only one who didn't was Ludwig, who went to the kitchen for a midnight snack. After Franca explained Nicaea's feedback, she said, "I first plan to pray to Mr. Fool, then perform a magic mirror divination to see if I can determine Louis Gustav's current whereabouts using these 2 items." "I'll do it," Lumion said. "I'll first seek Mr. Fool's consent, then use him as a subject for the divination, helping eliminate most interference." "True," Jenna said. Lumion pressed his hand to his chest and began praying. After receiving consent, he immediately took out a mirror and placed the family brooch and Tudor coin, and then caressed the mirror and said, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the grey fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck." Lumion recited the entire spell at a steady pace and posed Louis Gustav's current whereabouts, then waited for a response, and within seconds the surface's mirror rippled, revealing a figure that was tall, mimicking Emperor Roselle with chestnut hair, sporting 2 beautiful moustaches, azure eyes, and thin lips. Louis Gustav, a man who claimed to have been of the Gustav line, stood in what seemed to be an abandoned mine, walking to the dark exit. The image blurred, and with Louis enveloped by darkness, shrouded by the shadowy figures. Louis walked forward without averting his eyes or stopping, indifferent to the gazes from the darkness. The deeper he walked, the more profound the darkness became. Later, a slight light appeared on the forward side. Louis did not approach the light, continuing to move forward. After an indeterminate time, a door composed of light appeared in the distance, resembling an oval mirror. Louis Gustav approached the door of light, extending his right hand, pressing against it. He penetrated the door of light, arriving in an area with dense fog, with under 10 meters with visibility, with surroundings collapsed, buildings either asymmetricals or stained with blood. This is the 4th Epoch Trier, everyone realized. The only difference they noticed was the excessively dense fog. Is this the depths of the 4th Epoch Trier? As Alista's corpse was is Alista's corpse affecting this place, bringing about the fog of war? Lumion speculated. But when we were there, we could see the palace with Alista's corpse, and the fog wasn't this dense. Did some change happen in Trier after the hostile incident? Or is this caused by Louis? At this moment, the Louis Gustav in the mirror stopped, and before him, less than 10 meters away, a human shadow was cast on the blood-spattered stones. A shadow stretched long by the light, cradling an infant. Almost simultaneously, the image collapsed. Lumen furrowed his brow and said, Madame Polly and Ami Bella? Did Louis Gustave enter the Fourth Epoch Trier to meet them? Did Louis enter the Fourth Epoch Trier through the special mirror world? Were they watching him? Is the slightly lit area he didn't approach a great terror of the mirror world? No one could answer these questions. After a few seconds, Jenna said, We cannot handle this. Since it potentially involves Madame Polly and Ami Bella, we must follow Mr. Fo's guidance. Calamity must stay away from the mother. I'll report this to the Demoness of Black. No matter how much she urges me, I will not budge and say I cannot. I'll notify 007. Such a matter is best handled by the officials. They hold many secrets of the Fourth Epoch Trier and may be able to sell strong individuals to deal with it. Okay, Lumen said. He then reminded Franca the operation to eliminate targets in the Fourth Epoch Trier should not be led by EBS, Church Beyonders. Have you forgotten? The mystical father of Ami Bella is EBS. How could we forget something like that, Franca said. She then took out a mirror, sending the results of the divination along with the brooch and mirror to the Demoness of Black and reminding her to return the mediums. Shortly after, the Demoness of Black said, If Louis Gustave returns, immediately inform me, accompanying the response with a brooch and coin. Not letting me investigate deeply, just waiting for the response, just waiting for the return. How weird. Isn't this related to the Demoness sect? Is this not a trap? She relayed the Demoness of Black's words to Nicaea and returned the 2 items. Nicaea sighed in relief, and then said, Madam, I have visited the Lavigny docks and found the Church of the Fool now has a patron saint named Franca Rowland, her name the same as your own. Nicaea didn't originally think this was related to her superior. Throughout Trier there were hundreds of women named Franca, but the patron saint's name did include the Demoness accompanied by strife and catastrophe. Franca was embarrassed. She did not expect her subordinate to realize her side job. She responded and said, In this world everyone has many identities and purposes. Nicaea didn't dare ask further, considering whether she should openly convert to Mr. Fool. To get closer to her superior. Privately, everyone was still the Primordial's children. After Franca's mirror projection disappeared, Nicaea packed away the makeup mirror, brooch, and coin and merged with the darkness and returned to the bedroom. She did not rush to lie back down to her bed, first placing the brooch and coin in the hidden compartment of the desk. After completing this, she glided back into the bed like a shadow. Suddenly, a low voice sounded, Where did you just go? Nicaea turned her head, seeing Gruy, who had been sound asleep now, his eyes wide open and fixed on her. True! Catch her! God, these demonesses always sneaking out in the night, cuckolding them. Good on you, man. Sharp eyes. Okay, 4 more chapters, bro. Oh my god. Nicaea's heart tightened, but she remained calm on the surface. When she had snuck out, she had already prepared to handle this. Are you trying to scare me to death? She said. After calming down for a few seconds, she said, couldn't fall asleep, well, felt a bit stuffy, went to the balcony. And giving Gross a chance to ask, she said, You don't think something may have happened to Louis, right? As a leader of the Emperor Party, his disappearance would naturally bring anxiety and tension to those around him, right? Gross stared at Nicaea for a few seconds and said, Who knows? Maybe he'll appear in just a couple of days. In Franca's workshop in the villa, multiple mirrors floated before Lumen and the others, reflecting different scenes, capturing Nicaea and Gross from various angles. When Franca previously projected herself through the mirror world, she marked off the mirrored items in the room to ensure the safety of her subordinate, making sure she wouldn't be attacked or have her identity exposed. Subsequent developments proved Franca's wisdom and intuition, and Groves had indeed noticed Nicaea's departure. After the conversation, Franca was prepared to project her power through the mirror world if needed. But after a few minutes, her expression changed. Why are they kissing? There's so many people watching. Her purpose was only to add a layer of insurance to Nicaea's safety. She hadn't expected the suspicion harboring Groves to start kissing her. Is this about to become a scene? If only Franca was watching, she would have found this understandable, not a big deal. But now, Jenna was sitting beside her with Anthony and Ludwig. She felt so embarrassed, and at this moment, Anthony said both of their body languages show a certain level of resistance, the kiss deceptive and perfunctory. Professional, Franken muttered. As Anthony predicted, Nicaea and Groves kissed for a few seconds before saying goodnight and going back to bed. Franken then sighed and said, "Leave one person to watch, the rest can go to bed. Jenna, come replace me in an hour and a half," Lumen said. The surveillance required support from a demigod. Moreover, if anything went wrong, only a demoness could first project or traverse over to help. "Okay," Anthony said. After giving Franca a few instructions, Lumion and Jenna went to rest. Franca was completely relaxed, watched over the surveillance. As time watched, slowly she started reading a novel, leaning against a pile of pillows. Her intuition certainly gave her a warning, and she looked at the surveillance mirrors. Groves got out of bed and went to the desk, opening a hidden compartment, confirming the family brooch and Tudor coin were still there. He then went to the washroom, flushed the toilet. Seeing Groves return, Franca pursed her lips. That's it? She had expected him to suddenly attack or kill Nicaea, or use one of the brooch or coin to attack Louis. As a result, Groves was so well behaved that it disappointed her, and so, during the rotation, the sky suddenly brightened and the sunlight cascaded down. Franca then came down and yawned and said to Lumion, who was watching the surveillance, "Nothing unusual?" "Something," Lumion said. "Oh, what?" After waking up in the same bed as a demoness, Groves didn't even have a morning round. Me showing his attention to somewhere else. "Makes sense," Franca said. "I've also marked some of Groves' clothing metal buttons. As long as our luck isn't bad, we should be able to see where he goes and what he does." "Luck? Our luck won't be bad," Lumion laughed, reaching into his traveler bag containing the post-apocalyptic scripture. The formal suit Groves changed into after breakfast had two shiny mirror-like buttons marked by Franca. The surveillance image immediately changed, showing the scenes in front of Groves. In the following time, Groves kills Nicaea goodbye, taking a two-wheeled carriage to a certain street in the prison district, walking to a dark red door and ringing a doorbell, and the door opened. As Groves passed by, the surveillance image blurred, with displaying numerous white noise points. These noise points only lasted a second or two before disappearing, and the mirror Lumion and Franca had no longer showed anything. "We were discovered? Or the house has an anomaly affecting the mirror world?" Franca said. "Let's just wait a bit," Lumion said. After about 2 or 3 minutes, the mirror showed an image again, Groves leaving the house. Franca nodded. Throughout the morning, Groves, as a deputy manager of the armaments factory, visited numerous military camps. Lumion, who was well rested, said nothing much worth watching anymore. "Yeah," Franca said. "Why do I feel like you've gotten shorter?" Lumion said to Franca. Or Franca said to Lumion. "My weather warlock potion has been digested, my state a little stabilized, and I have better control over my body. So I controlled my height to 1.95 meters. As digestion deepens, I can continue to compress, and once it is digested, I should normally maintain 1.85 meters. During battles, even without revealing my mythical creature state, I can expand to 2.7 or 2.8 meters. "You've already partially digested it?" Franca said. "Because I found a key point to acting as a weather warlock," Lumion chuckled. "A few days ago, I discovered a tribe in the primitive jungle of the southern continent that maintained blood sacrifice. I brought them different extreme weather conditions, and after persisting for a few days, they were broken by the fear, submitting to me and abandoning their habits. This helped me summarize a key acting principle, and when the potion was thus significantly digested." Franca thought for a moment and asked, "Controlling weather is to bring about catastrophe and make the target submit?" "More or less," Lumion said. "Time to visit the house without abnormalities." "You're going?" Franca said. "Just leave it to the Demoness sector, official beyonders. There could be traps." Lumion smiled. "This is on the ground, not underground, under the watch of Mr. Fool and the true gods. If I'm afraid to handle abnormal events, how can I act as an iron-blooded knight?" "True," Franca said. She then hesitated and said, "Take Jenna with you." Lumion smiled and invited Franca. "You come too." "Okay," Franca agreed. At the door of the 20 Rue de Saint Frederic, Lumion, wearing a half-high silk hat, white shirt and black vest, opened the dark red door and walked in. Franca and Jenna saw outside the interior through the makeup mirror. Sofa and cabinets covered with white cloth to prevent dust accumulation. "No problems, no interference," Jenna said to Lumion. "This place hasn't been lived in for a long time," Lumion said, "but maids come in regularly to clean it. A weather warlock's extraction and restoration of environmental information." As Lumion finished speaking, Franca, who had just entered the house, saw a figure slowly walking down the stairs. A thin figure, seemingly like it would fall with a gust of wind. His hair mostly gray, clearly aged, a brown beard that looked like it hadn't been trimmed in a long time. Before his appearance, Lumion as an angel had not detected him, and couldn't smell him. Based on this, Lumion believed the person didn't even exist. The old man looked at Lumion and said, "You have come to collect a letter." "Letter?" The man smiled. "I'm a messenger of God, and one of my functions is to deliver letters for great existences. There is a letter for you." The plot chickens! Alright guys, my pizza's here. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, okay? Give me 2 minutes. Mr. Chair is dead, Harsh. I am what remains. You will never get him back. I killed him. You guys gave him too many fucking compliments. Should have known the fucking consequences, idiot. The only one you compliment is me. This is like going to Walter White's lab and then saying, "Wow, Jesse's a great fucking cook." Idiot. What did you think was gonna happen to Jesse? You didn't think for 1 fucking second what was gonna happen? What? There's no way you're this dumb. Hold on, I'm here. I'm here. You guys obviously know I'm here, okay? Don't say Darth Vader time, okay? I do prefer my Walter White arc. Oh, the killing of Anakin? Oh, Anakin Skywalker is dead, I am what remains? Yeah, that works too, actually. Never mind, you're right. I apologize. What kind of pizza? I'm a basic bitch. I got cheese pizza right now. Yeah, I know. God, don't ask. I know. Genuinely, I know. Trust me, I get it. I understand. Listen, I said I'm a basic bitch, okay? Don't judge me. I'm a child. There you go. Let's get meat lovers. What's your go-to food? I generally prefer like some kind of poultry-based burger of some kind, if that makes sense. Like I don't do well with red meat. I don't know. Red meat makes my tummy hurt, so I don't really eat it that often. So like some chicken burger, some turkey burger, some like chicken nuggies, that sort of thing. Love it. Red meat just makes my tummy hurt. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's that I'm allergic to it or anything. My digestion system just doesn't handle it very well, so I don't touch it. Oh, that reminds me. Can I tell you guys a story? Okay. Can I tell you guys a story? Okay. This was a couple of weeks ago. Okay, the stream's already getting fucked time-wise, so Kami, you can switch the music to just like chill music. Let me just talk for like 2 minutes. So me and a couple guys met for like some work stuff, and one of the guys and I hit it off really well. We were just chilling. He mentioned he loves Vagabond, and I was like, oh, no way, we're gonna be fucking great, bro. And so we're having a great time. We talk about like some stuff. We're talking about like just life in general. He tells me he's playing Baldur's Gate. I'm like, oh. Let me fucking walk you through the entire first act and what you can't miss, okay? Because I've played so many hours of Baldur's Gate. Chris, I got work at 8 hours. I hear ya, bro. This shit's fucking cooked, okay? And so he says like, hey, do you want to get some burgers? Like, you hungry? And I was like, nah, I could go for some food right now, no problem. So we go, and we now this is my fault. No, this is my fault, but like, I didn't even consider that when he said burgers, we reached the place, and the place it's like a hole in the wall restaurant. But you know how like those places have like the best food, because it's like because they're like hyper specialized into like 2 or 3 things. So we walk in, and the burger joint has 2 options, and it is a burger and it is a spicy burger. That's it. They don't offer fries. They don't offer nothing. You can get a Coke or a Diet Coke. That's literally your options. They offer 4 things in the entire fucking store. I'm like, what the fuck? Now I walk in and I'm like, shit. Like I don't do space or like beef in particular. My tummy really does really not, because it's like really heavy. So my tummy really does not like it. And I'm like, fuck. And so I'm like about to tell him, and like, hey, and then he goes, oh yeah, you said you like spicy food, right? And I was like, yeah. And so he orders me the spicy one, orders himself the regular one, and pays for it. He pays for both of our food. And I'm like, fuck. Like, now I have to eat it. Like, he paid for my food. I didn't even, like, he didn't even give me a chance. He just said, yeah, this and this, bang. And I was like, no, don't. And he paid for it. I was like, fuck. So now I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I have to eat this fucking burger now. He said, hey, you're gonna love this because you like spicy food. And I was like, yeah, that's great. And then he paid for it. He brought me to this restaurant. He asked me if I wanted a burger. I said yes. Brought me to this restaurant. Said, hey, based on what you told me before, you're gonna love this. Orders it for me. Buys it for me. Like, I have to eat it now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be on the fucking shitter for hours after this, bro. Oh my god. So I ate like half the burger, and I said like, oh, you know, like, I'm not super hungry. I'm just gonna pack it away. And so like I just get like a to-go box. I put it away. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, no problem. And then we walk back. We go to his house. We play some games for a bit, and then I leave. and I like throw it out, and I'm like, oh my, and I just like want to puke the rest of the way home. That was my super fun story. Thank you for listening. I genuinely got stifled by a man's kindness. I love that man so much because he, like, there's not one place where I could say, like, it was his fault, okay? Genuinely, all of it was, like, on me. When he said burger, I should have calculated that, like, oh, maybe he just means, like, just beef. But I didn't. When we got there, I could have just been like, shit, hey, man, I don't eat beef. But I didn't. After he ordered, I could have been like, at every point, it was my fucking fault. It's absolutely not his fault. He was so sweet. Love that guy. But I was like, oh my fucking god, you're such a chud, bro. You skipped the interesting part? Oh, I'm sorry. I fucked MX's mom with severe diarrhea on the way home. That was it, right? I assume that was it. If you're wondering, both she and I had... Well, I had diarrhea, she had constipation after what I did to her. Okay. Hold on, let me just finish this slice and then we can start, okay? And then I'll finish reading, and then I can just eat a bit more. And then we can just talk for a bit. A letter from a great existence, Lumin laughed, interrupting the man's words. I feel you don't truly exist in this home. The old man in a crumbled, formal suit, thin frame, seemed eager to express himself and said, if I believe I exist, and you believe I exist, then I exist. The reverse is also true. Franca felt a bit of a headache inside. Are you talking philosophy? How did you know that my previous, in your terms, sequence was called philosopher? Is philosopher a term? No, philosophy is not a sequence I know of. Seriously, a demoness's spiritual intuition is no joke. Franca was stunned. A philosopher? Lumin suddenly thought of a secretive org of first philosophy. A mental patient who was once disguised as a substitute by I know someone, also described as having been like a philosopher. Lumin asked and said, Midoro's worship? Do you know about the heavenly domains, the formless door? The old man responded. Have you also experienced immortality? Lumin shook his head. No, I've just killed a few initiates. He was provoking, displaying the arrogance of an iron-blooded knight. Dude, the will of character it is taking for me to not fucking finish this pizza right now is genuinely crazy. The expression on the old man's face disappeared. He looked at Lumin and said, a great existence wants me to deliver a letter. Which one, Lumin? Before Lumin could ask, he glanced at Franca and Jenna. The two demonesses had silently disappeared from the house, leaving only two makeup mirrors placed on the ground at some point. When Lumin first diverted the conversation, Franca had used the proximity to transfer their true bodies to the mirror world via their eyes, leaving only mirror projections. Now they weren't even maintaining those. They had learned from Lumin that deeply understanding the names and information of great existences would corrupt oneself. Something mirror projections couldn't block, and even hidden, sleeping mirrors would be affected. The old man didn't mind Franca and Jenna's departure and said, the mighty circle of inevitability. Circle of inevitability? You should hate Amon more than me now. What the fuck did I do? Is he trying to carry out a counter-espionage against me? But why would the likes of him value me? Or is this a medium just to harvest my life? Lumin asked the old man, you're not an angel, are you? Except for a few other great existences haven't been able to send angelic powers through the barrier. Can you understand the true names of great existences? In Lumen's view, the old man was at most a sequence 3. This is a unique characteristic and the source of pain for Messenger of Gods, but also our most powerful ability. Corruption grants us power. Bye, Unhinged. Thank you so much for coming, buddy. Sounds quite philosophical, but this ability is indeed special. The Beyonders, from the first philosophy I've encountered, were skilled at injecting voices into others' ears and minds. What if what they inject are true names of great existences, and those below the angelic power, could they withstand that? Lumen suddenly felt lucky that he hadn't encountered a messenger of God before this. Otherwise, various hidden dangers in his body would explode at the slightest provocation. Or maybe it wasn't luck, but arrangement. As thoughts flashed, Lumen mused. With this realization, his blue eyes turned black. He didn't want to receive the Circle of Inevitability's letter. He wanted to find the connection between the old man and him before his true body by investigating overall weakness, then blow them both up. And at that moment, the old man's body became ethereal. His voice rang out, "Please, receive the letter!" as he condensed, transforming into a silver, black and white light shooting at Lumion. In this house, he was the letter, and the letter was him. Lumion activated the black mark on his shoulder and disappeared, teleporting to the fog sea far from Trier. But the black and white light still ahead of him, still approaching, not shaken off. Lumion didn't hesitate, making layers of phantom images appear in his eyes. He entered the mirror world, the light still before him, in the illusory dark tunnel, seemingly destined to be received by him, a fate that couldn't be escaped. Lumion flashed into another tunnel. The light once again approached. This time Lumion didn't flee, turning his eyes silver black. Although his inevitability powers hadn't further improved, thanks to the weakness investigation ability now reaching an angelic level, the Eye of Calamity formed by merging this ability with the inevitability power had some enhancement. Since he couldn't escape, he tried to eliminate this letter from the destiny plane. I lied. I'm still gonna be chewing away at a fucking slice of pizza because I'm a fat fuck. Now that I have eaten, I cannot... It is a destined fate. I cannot stop. I will not stop. This is who I am. You can leave the stream if you must. I understand if you must. I know that I harbor no ill will against you if you do. I cannot stop. I don't want to stop. I am fat. I lied. The pizza goes back on the right side. This is it. Okay. Where did you order it from? Pizza. Which is the most disgusting pizza. Well, the second most. It's not great. But there was the one with the fastest delivery time. And I was hungry. And honestly, at this point, I can't taste the difference. In the blink of an eye, Lumen saw another scene. In the hat, recipients of the letter were not only himself, but a Mon, wearing a black robe, monocle, and a pointed hat. Lumen heard an ethereal clang crossing through the thick history. A scene emerged in his mind. The thin-faced Amon stood in the bell tower, pushing the bell tower to strike the great bell. With this sound, an ancient, massive clock appeared. A phantom, its face divided into uneven 12 sections by intersecting dark blue and grey-white corners. Each section different symbols representing different times. 3-jointed, semi-transparent worms formed the clock's hand. As they stopped, an indescribable, invisible torrent surged out, freezing the silver-white black light within. Lumen, not within the range, heard a familiar voice. "Do you know the main ability of a sufferer?" Before Lumen could even respond, the voice answered, reproducing the suffering one has experienced onto the target. As the words fell, the silver, white, and black light froze and in time broke through the restraints, flying to LEMMiNO. But waiting for it was an extremely intense, unimaginable sea of light. A supernova seeming to have erupted on a small scale. The small mirror world collapsed, accompanied by a silent shattering of numerous mirrors. Of course, far from a true supernova explosion. Wait, Amon has been through a supernova explosion? I wonder who did that to him. That'd be crazy. Who could do that? Bro is genuinely traumatized. Before Amon hit that motherfucker with the supernova, he must have said, I want you to know, I got hit with this shit and I'm still here, okay? Put some fucking respect on my name. I've been through the fucking hood, brother. And I'm still here. Of course, this was far from a true supernova explosion, merely a kind of simulated reproduction. That pizza crunchy as hell, is it still? No, it's just slightly cold. Imagine getting a hot pizza, and then it becomes slightly cold. Not cold, but slightly cold. Do you know what I mean, Chris? The texture is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's good. Although LEMMiNO is outside the range, his body still shattered. At this moment, his eye of calamity, the preconditions for pushing destiny to the marginal branch were satisfied. It looks incredibly greasy. It is. That's why I got this particular kind of pizza. I need greasy food right now. Honestly, if it was not this, it would have been Popeye's fries, and I love Popeye's fries. Why don't you nuke it on the microwave? Because I don't want to go down a flight of stairs. I'm fat. I've been through this. And LEMMiNO didn't hesitate to release nearly half his spirituality from his palm, letting the mercury-colored river of fate flow into the corresponding branch. Cold pizza is not nasty. Hey there, take it back. Cold pizza has its own place. I'm not going to say it is better than hot pizza, because it's not, but it has its own place. Stop it. Stop it. LEMMiNO didn't hesitate. Everything calmed down. LEMMiNO turned his head to look at Amon, who had appeared beside him at some point. The tiny silver white light and black lights emerging from the void. Through the circle of inevitability's letter couldn't be directly delivered to him and Amon, it revealed itself inevitably. The text complex, but didn't prevent LEMMiNO from deciphering it. Stay away from the special mirror worlds, or you're destined to go mad and lose control. What? Is this a warning? COI didn't try to corrupt or spite me, but warned me? Is he trying to betray the other outer deities? LEMMiNO focused on the phrase lose control and go mad, and recalled the prophecy of the post-apocalyptic scripture and this future self he needed to have seen during the hostile incident. Do all prophecies about my future self revolve going mad? Amon then said, if it's not a letter from me, why ask me to receive it? Perhaps you'll also lose control and go mad by entering the special mirror world, LEMMiNO tried to interpret. He remembered the young man beside him was once a top cryptologist, and Amon smiled. True, but I can indeed avoid entering a special mirror world. Can you? LEMMiNO wanted to answer yes, but given the entanglements of fate, his unique pathway, and various other prerequisites, he didn't truly know. Why would COI want to warn me? LEMMiNO asked. Did that old fellow also designate me as a recipient to help you decrypt? The interpretation is that the entering of the special mirror world indeed poses a risk of you losing control and going mad, and this may bring risks to him. What do you think? I think Amon is goated with a sauce. I think, you know who Amon is? I think Amon, call me crazy, I think Amon is him. Perfect timing. Don't mind the fact that I added it either. Would the terrors of the special mirror world possibly bring trouble to the outer deities invasion? LEMMiNO looked at Amon and said, what exactly is in the depths of the special mirror world? He should know, right? LEMMiNO had no expectation that Amon would truly answer him, but no risk in asking. Amon laughed and said the embryonic form of the special mirror world was constructed by Bethel to create a secret spacious environment unknown to the other gods for Tudor and Cheek's meeting. Tudor wouldn't care whether this meeting was seen, but cared whether it would be known by those who shouldn't. The style of His Imperial Majesty, the Blood Emperor. And then? Later, the special mirror world underwent changes. Not only me, but Bethel and the others were no longer allowed in. His Majesty was fully capable of killing angels. Afterwards, His Majesty became even crazier. Cheek began to claim herself as the true heir of the original creator, the first person born in the chaos. In the Pale Disaster, Cheek suffered severe damage. For thousands of years, her condition poor, but as a demoness of an aging, you should know clearly that for high-ranking demonesses, that's unlikely. They can quickly resurrect, even in death, let alone being just wounded. LEMMiNO could tell that Amon was intentionally saying these words. His arrival today was certainly not just for receiving the letter. For their secret fuck session, conjugal visits. Imagine Tudor had that world made to trap Cheek in and said, you stay there. I will show up when it's conjugal visit time. La-di-doo-da. The heir of the original creator. LEMMiNO recalled the concept of the demoness sect Frank I told him. Shouldn't it be the persons the original, the oldest one split off from? And amongst them, the only two important or qualified to say this are the Celestial Worthy and God Almighty? LEMMiNO paused and said, I'm aware that the combination of Tudor and Cheek was actually an arrangement left behind by the original God Almighty. The one believed in the Aurora Order was also an object of the arrangement, bringing about a destined accident. I will say truly, Amon, the disrespectful little fuck saying God Almighty, is kind of nutsy. Or sorry, saying His Majesty is kind of fucking nutsy. Moreover, the Demoness of Black said that the Primordial has 5 lines honorific name, 2 of which are unknown to outsiders. LEMMiNO was thinking that if he wanted to gain more intel from Amon, he would have to trade some info of his own. The one in front of him was an expert at free acquisitions, but before Amon could respond, LEMMiNO added, the city of Calamity at the top of the Hunter and Demoness pathway was once contained by the God Almighty, beginning to suspect the great terror of the special mirror world was related to the resurrection of the God Almighty. For such matters, Amon smiled, no one dares to confirm without seeing it personally. Initially, when the special mirror world first had anomalies, the Zealot already knew something wrong. Why call Adam the Zealot? And the occurrence of the War of the Four Emperors was also him pushing it from the shadows. He re-established contact with the Chaos Sea more than 7 years ago, although forcibly using the Chaos Sea's power would cause the accommodation progress to regress compared to those who still had to wait for the Western Continent seal to be lifted. He still shouldn't be incapable of accomplishing initial accommodation until today. Guess why he hasn't accommodated it? Are the concerns about the problems hidden in the depths of the special mirror world stopping him? Does he want to be underqualified to become the origins of disaster and calamity, not only to cultivate power against the apocalypse, but also because the path of the origins of the disaster must pass through the depths of the special mirror world, triggering that terror and presenting it before his eyes? Is this a part of the previous bestowment cost to be repaid? LEMMiNO then asked, what else does he know of the special mirror world? LEMMiNO simply laughed. Cheek's remaining 2 honorific names are extremely secretive. Even colored title high-ranking demonesses don't know all of them. Only those with close connections to Cheek may trigger divine descents when attacked to truly understand them. Otherwise, why do you think that 2 honorific names could remain secret, unknown to even those current, even unknown to all current gods? Medici could intimidate the god demoness of white, let alone those more powerful than her. But the Zealot may know something. After all, even the thoughts in one's mind may not be hidden from him. Lumen glanced at Amon and laughed. Using a true god's honorific name in Antesian won't incur divine punishment. Only using Hermes or ancient Hermes accounts as blasphemy. After all, Chico is an uncommon. You only mentioned Hermes and ancient Hermes because you mastered them, Amon laughed. Using ordinary language to recite the true god's names will attract attention, but not divine punishment. As for me, guess why my title includes the description blasphemer. Actually, I'm quite looking forward to you entering the depths of the special mirror world, Amon said. Something interesting will happen. So why not give it a shot? Maybe I'll consider it sometime in the future, Lumen smiled. Goodbye, my unacknowledged goddaughter. I hope when I see you next, you haven't truly lost control and gone mad. Amon waved and disappeared. Dude, I will say it, Lumen is starting to act more and more like Medici. Coming across Amon, he's still giving him shit like, maybe I'll consider it. Lumen lowered his head and gazed at the azure ocean shrouded in faint mist, and then activated the mark on his shoulder and returned to the villa in Trier. How'd it go? Frank and Jenna asked. The one called Inevitability sent a message through the Mirror of God, Lumen said. The one called Inevitability warned me not to go to the depths of the mirror world. It feels like a weasel giving a well wishes to a chicken, Franka muttered. Could this be a misdirection? Franka frowned, but the secrets of the special mirror world are related to the demoness and are indeed dangerous. Probably not a misdirection, Lumen recounted his conversation with Amon. Maybe the one who will save the end times is me, and Mr. Fool will hold the fort, preventing those great existences from interfering with me, and when I reach the entrance of the special mirror world, I'll shout to the skies, go back or face the great terror. Like the deterrence era. Are you saying Lumen becomes the fourth pillar and then says, listen, either you retreat or I nuke the universe? Then they all retreat and then he goes to sleep? He pulls a Klein and says, alright, my go. You're up now? I'm taking the nap. Yeet. Book 3 was about to be Klein and Fours going into Lumien's dream to wake him up. But he decided, wow, that's repetitive. You know what? This is good. People understand. We'll leave it there. Jenna didn't quite understand. Maybe it would only bring trouble to the one called Inevitability, without affecting other great existences. Do I look like an idiot? Before figuring things out, what exactly would the great terror in the special mirror world depths, and what would deter those great existences? I would never do those things, Lumen teased. From now on, I must try and avoid contact with items related to the special mirror world. Cautious, Franka gave a thumbs up to Lumen. She then had a moment and took out her own special mirror world fragment and gave it to Jenna. I'm telling you, bro, one of these two fucks is dying. Franka or Jenna are dying, I'll bet you. I just hope it's Franka. What? I just hope it's Jenna. I'm sorry. I just hope it's not Franka was what I was trying to say. She thought for a moment, took out her own special mirror world fragment and handed it to Jenna alongside Lumien's. I have them do a divination? True not. Do Franka or Jenna die before the end of the book? Does either Franka or Jenna die before the end of the book? Does Franka dies before the end of the book? Fuck. Wait, no! Huge! Does Jenna die before the end of the book? It has been confirmed. The Almighty has given me his powers. Once again, I am indeed the blessed of the universe. I deposited everything. Whoever was trying to rob me, get fucking rolled, idiot. Not. You are fucking close. Not me. I have retained my status not only as a seer, but as the bizarro sorcerer. The knowledge that I have access to would truly scare the fucking great old ones. They would go, God damn. This motherfucker's onto something, bro. Why is he so goated with the sauce? No, I don't dislike Jenna. I just like Franca more. I have the Demoness's figurine, Franca said. At critical moments, I must avoid keeping it together with the special mural fragments. I was just about to remind you. Jenna smiled and collected the 2 fragments. Franca then returned to LEMMiNO and said, let's put this matter aside. She was referring to Louis Gustave, and after some time, if the Emperor party returned to the 4th Epoch Trier, and not the special mirror world, they would leave it to the official Beyonders to handle and involve the Demoness sect. Yes, Lumi nodded. In the coming days, besides finding other cultists hidden in Trier and Zarathos clothes, I'll focus on digesting the potion. I may seek Mr. Fool's permission to attempt acting in a specific scenario. I have also communicated with Mr. Star and Mr. Fool. If they discover a base of the Rose School of Thought and an armed force belonging to them, they'll notify me. I'll take you to the southern continent and launch a war. The acting of a war bishop must be completed in a war. Okay, Franca said. There's nothing else to do for now? She wanted to continue manufacturing robots. Lumi didn't respond directly and said, I have heard a famous circus is touring in Trier. Wanna go see it? Sure, Jenna said. Alright, Franca replied. After more than a week, Angolme de Francois put on a brown coat with gold embroidered threads and walked to the underground of St. Viev Cathedral. He and several colleagues were assisting to search for Louis Gustave and Madame Pauline underground Trier. They needed to hold a ritual containing the blessings of EBS to resist the various corruptions existing in 4th Epoch Trier. Even for an Unshadow, this would be dangerous. Another one, brought by the Hidden Blade, Angolme thought. The matter of Louis Gustave and the person suspected to be Polly in the 4th Epoch Trier was reported personally by him, and after being assigned the task, Angolme had tried to find the Hidden Blade in the Telegram group several times, wanting to complain. But in the past week, Hidden Blade had only been available 2 or 3 times, and no one knew what she was so busy with. Last chapter, guys. Last chapter. Let's get this done, and then we can go. And then I'm just going to eat some food. If you guys want to talk for a bit, we can, or I can end stream. I don't really care either way. I just want you to know, I should have skipped stream today, okay? So the reason I didn't skip stream was my brother got a promotion. So we all went out for dinner, and that dinner lasted a little longer than expected. So I should have just skipped stream today, but then I was like, nah, bro. I said I was going to finish it this weekend. We're fucking doing this. So I came back at 10 and started streaming. In the underground location in Trier, a place strictly guarded by multiple Beyonders of the EBS and Church of Steam and Machinery. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys are so positive, you know? I love you guys. This was a leakage seal point that had appeared before the construction of the catacombs, which was later handled and no longer caused problems. But if linked with the square in the nearby Quarry Hollow where EBS and God of Steam Machinery were worshipped, along with the stone pillars representing both deities, it could allow people from outside the seal to enter the 4th Epoch Trier. When I stream tomorrow, it'll be back at 5:30 p.m. MX. So about 4.5 hours before today's stream started. Although this required the divine power of EBS and the God of Steam Machinery as a key, something impossible for cultists to utilize, both churches insisted on sending teams to take turns guarding it. At this moment, Angolme at the abandoned site with the other 2 unshadowed, facing 3 people dressed as stonemasons. Let's begin, a monk said, nodding at Angolme. Angolme recognized this monk as a current prior of the Deep Valley Cloister, named Jack Walton. Okay, Angolme said. Under the watchful eyes of both guards, they lowered their heads and took positions, chanting the names of their honorific deities. or their respective deities. Rays of sunlight fell from the top of the cave, illuminating the mine. White steam permeated the hollow. Soon, crimson blood seeped from below the depths. The blood, resisting the sunlight, surged up, filling the mine. Ongome dissolved his fear and hesitation, raised his head and took 2 steps forward and entered the mine, stepping into the blood and with a bloody scent. Other saints followed behind. Passing through the blood well, they would enter into the 4th epoch Trier. Not a simple task. The blood would cause severe corruption, with the danger increasing for higher sequences. What, 16 chapters? Nothing. Southern continent, deep in a rainforest, before the terrifying castle covered in countless human skin. Franca and Jenna, Anthony and Ludwig condensed fire spears of blue-violet and terrifying. Without Lumin issuing the command, they threw their spears, and the spears split in midair, presenting a sky-covering arrangement. It was as if an entire military legion had launched their weapons simultaneously. The human skin castle, covered by countless spears, and the cultists developed by the Rose School of Thought used every possible ability, but cannot change the scene. The earth trembled and the castle collapsed, painful wails and desperate curses echoing between the flames. Ludwig didn't care what the soon-to-die cultists were cursing. He stepped forward, rode the wild wind, and howled to arrive at the soon-collapsed human skin castle, opening his mouth. All the rising black gas was sucked into his mouth, and Lumion had his hands in his pockets, smiling and watching the scene. From breaking through the human skin castle outer defenses to gradually advancing and cutting off their escape, to repeatedly attacking the castle itself and destroying it, Lumion had never personally acted, allowing the others to perform freely. He was only responsible for central command. Not strong enough, Franca said. The only issue was that the master of the human skin castle was a Sequence 4 tree supplicant bestowed by the Mother Tree of Desire. Though he had a group of low and mid-sequence subordinates and numerous loyal cultists, the human skin castle itself was like a sacrificial ritual that could display the power equivalent to an angel by sacrificing many humans, but it couldn't fundamentally resist a true angel, let alone an angel leading a team. Overwhelming the weak and sweeping through the armies is also a form of war, which is helpful for digesting the war bishop role, Lumin laughed and said to Franca. Moreover, previously, abstract cooperation had now become a tangible thing. I did not know. What Lumin didn't say was that he was essentially equivalent to a priest or bishop of the City of Calamity, or 001, due to his close connection. Overwhelming the weak and sweep... okay, hold on. Over the past week, Mr. Star and Mr. Moon had each discovered a base established by the Rose School of Thought, handing both over to Lumion to handle, giving him the opportunity to launch 2 small wars. Seeing Ludwig consume all the dispersed boon power, Jenna retracted her gaze and said to Lumion, I know the southern continent is chaotic, but getting opportunities for 2 small wars in over a week, isn't this too often? There are signs, Lumion chuckled. Signs of chaos and conflict. Signs the apocalypse will arrive soon. Before the others could respond, Lumion said to Ludwig, Let's head back. Let's have a barbecue tonight. According to their arrangement, apart from the dispersed boon power, all the other spoils had to be left for intel providers, Mr. Moon or Mr. Star. Inside the villa in Trier that belonged to Lumion and his companions, Jenna was using spider silk to quickly slice and string meat skewers while watching Lumion, who despite having extremely strong fire manipulation, was seriously managing the charcoal for grilling meat. Lumion smiled, tasting a piece while grilling. He was not worried about those signs, no, not at all. But he worries when he should worry, fights when he should fight, and enjoys life when he can, Jenna thought. Jenna's dying for sure, bro. Over the past week, Lumion, who had made certain progress in digesting a weather warlock potion and stabilized his state, was behaving quite normally. Their relationship had returned to the period with before the vortex incident, and moreover, Lumion had become more proactive. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I trust in this fucking divination that I did more than I've ever trusted any before this, because my intuition guided me. The second question I was supposed to ask after asking Jenna or did Franca or Jenna die was, did Jenna die? But I was like in a kind of and my mind asked Franca and it said no. My spiritual intuition guided me to Franca not dying. And then consciously I said, oh, is Jenna gonna die? And it said yes. And this is the most true divination I've ever had in my life. How often you talk about Jenna dying? I think you want her to die. A normal person would inevitably be affected in daily life when encountering worrying matters. Lumen's ability to detach himself indicated he was deliberately controlling his emotions, though. Even at Sequence 2, godhood ultimately brings certain permanent influences, Jenna thought. What's on your mind? Franca asked. Jenna pursed her lips and shared her recent feelings. Franca pursed her lips and said, just treat it as a normal change in mindset and perception that everyone experiences as they grow older and tempered. Just stop midway. Isn't this true for her? The same applied for Jenna. Walking step by step to her current sequence, she was more or less had abandoned some of her original insistences. Just as Jenna was about to say something, she saw Lumion beside Ludwig. Feeding a dog, Franca scolded Lumion. Jenna couldn't help but laugh as well. Deep in the Fourth Epoch Trier, dense fog isolated sensory perceptions and spirituality, making the partially collapsed buildings in the distance appear hazy. The Unshadowed had filled the surrounding 20 to 30 to 40 meters of pure holy sunlight to the point where even each person's shadow had disappeared. The rolling flaw of fog blocked out by the sunlight. Angolme cast his gaze towards Jack Walton, the prior of the Deep Valley Cloister, a saint-level monk, holding a circular disc with complex patterns. Placed on the disc was an object supposedly from Louis Gustave's family crest, which swayed left and right before settling in a direction. Over there, Jack said. The disc was something he had made just over 2 days ago, derived from revelation knowledge. The crest was not a real object, but a projection. This did not impede its role as a medium. Just as Angolme and the others followed Jack into a new street, a black shadow passed in front of them. The shadow slightly hunched, moving slowly. At a glance, it looked like a person, but upon closer inspection, it looked more like a viscous black liquid. A Masuri ghost, Angolme identified, leaving Jack and the others confused. Weren't ghosts supposed to wander in the underground Trier? How could they end up in Fourth Epoch? Information about the ghost quickly flashed through the minds of the demigods, who were not afraid of curses, quickly reminding them that these ghosts were not always present and had appeared only recently. Did the ghost come from the Fourth Epoch Trier in more than one? Speculation emerged in the minds of the saints. In the villa, Lumion suddenly felt his body go icy cold, unable to breathe, as if sinking into viscous river water. In the next second, his eyes reflected a black shadow. A Masuri ghost. Lumion's heart tightened as he sat up. He opened his eyes. Seeing everything in the room was normal, and no ghost in sight. What happened? Frank asked. Lumino was silent for a few seconds before saying, I dreamt of a Masuri ghost. Franco was stunned, then said, for a demoness, this could be a spiritual premonition. Well, guys, we officially have only 80 chapters left. It is nearly 1 o'clock. I have to start work in 7 hours. Y'all got any questions for me? Because I'm just gonna eat some more fucking food. If y'all got any questions for me, I'm here. If not, if y'all don't got anything, we can just call it. Obviously, I know the stream was way longer than I expected. I apologize. 10 chapters should not take me nearly 3 hours, but that's just life. What happens in the volume end? Lumin has to go down to Fourth Epoch Trier to help his friends. And there he finds a sequence 1 characteristic somehow. Advances yet again. Bye, Kami. Thank you so much, buddy. I know it's so fucked up timing for you, but I love you so much, man. Thank you for seriously everything. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. How are you feeling? Are you excited? A bit of both, Buck. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am excited. I do want to know how the conclusion to this ends. At the end of the day, this is a year and a half of my life I've spent on this. Right, so I am excited to get to the ending and see what happens. There's also a part of me that is happy to also be done with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a part of me that says like I'll be free from like this expectation of, okay, I have to be streaming like nearly every day until I finish COI. And then I can be like, hey, I'm gonna stream like 4 days a week. I'm gonna take days in between to edit. I'm gonna get videos out because I want the channel to grow, and that's the only way that's gonna happen. I'm gonna do streams. In the streams, there's gonna be like little tidbits that I'm gonna try to schedule out beforehand, so that I can get like clips out of that. So hopefully the clips can help the channel grow. 5:30 here there Eastern time. So there's a bit of excitement for that too, but that's not excitement for COI being done because I'm done with this piece of shit. That's not the case. It's just more personally for me, it just feels like, okay, now this expectation that I had set for myself, and I've like lived up to it, and I can say, hey, listen, I did it, and I'm glad I did. I just now would like to, you know, use my time differently. I'm not gonna say better or worse, just differently, and see how that can help the channel. I hope that makes sense. Should Jenna give Lumion head to awaken his, I think you mean outer pillar, Philip, and I do agree. I think everything he's done, a little ahead would go a long way. No, I agree. Jenna, what would you think COI did better at LCM? I actually do have an answer to this. Give me one second. So, I think, obviously, the point of LOTM was for Klein to be all alone. But even in doing so, obviously, he did have teammates that he came to rely on. I don't know teammates, but like friends or other people that he came to rely on. I think getting their point of view would have been really valuable. And I think we got that to very slight degrees at some points, and then more so at the end of LOTM. And I think the fact that Cuttlefish, you know, went out of his, I'm going to say comfort zone. Obviously, this part is more me intuition pumping more than, you know, actually knowing what's his comfort zone. But going into that, leading into Franca and Jenna's points of view, leading into the point of view from like Jenna's brother, that sort of thing. Like these were all really, really valuable, and just makes the world feel so much more grander. Like it feels like a racehorse with like the blinders on, having that taken off, and you just feel like your depth perception just goes. I do agree, Chris. That characters in general, wholeheartedly agree, no doubt. This is fun, see? Problem is, normally, because I end up doing so much reading streams where I'm like constantly reading, and then obviously I talk a decent bit for work as well. So like, by the time I get done reading, I don't want to talk more. Not because I don't want to talk to you guys, it's just like, I just like don't want to talk in general. Like I don't want to talk to fucking anyone anymore. But like, when I can do like Reverend Insanity streams, when they can just be playing as like audiobooks for a little bit and I can read for a little bit, that'll free things up so much more, where like I can just talk with you guys. That'll be so much better. Better for me, better for like clips, so much more stuff that we can do. Any crazy theories you got? Oh, I don't think I've told you guys this. Sorry, yeah. Okay, this is gonna come out of the left field. Okay, I apologize. I think Jenna dies. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm on toilet jury. Okay. Okay. I think the secret hero, I think the hero of Circle of Inevitability is gonna actually end up being Adam. I think Adam, somehow, one way or another, is gonna end up like sacrificing himself in one way or other. That can be like his power and he just like reverts to being like a god or reverts to being like an angel or something, and then, you know, uses the rest of his power to like drive out the old gods or re-establish another barrier or some bullshit. But I think he's gonna be this. Good night, dude. Thank you so much, buddy, for staying, man. I'm sorry about the shitty timing of the stream, but my brother got a job. I'm gonna go celebrate with him every day of the week. I love that guy. Love you too, buddy. But why do you think that? I think, like with Lord of the Mysteries, I think a lot of the book, I think COI so far a lot has been like a one-to-one damn near mirror with Lord of the Mysteries. Like Klein goes through a thing, LEMMiNO go through like a similar thing, not the same thing, but like something that you can like layer on top of each other and see the connections between. And I think the level of influence that Adam had in Lord of the Mysteries, he has not had yet. And I feel like that's gonna show up at the end, where Adam's gonna go, I know you dislike me, Mysteries, because I wanted to help my friend, and I know you dislike me, Lumion, because I used you. But in the end, all I wanted was what was best for humanity, because I shall bear the sins of humanity. Yeah, I just feel like, I think COI ends. I think COI ends kind of miserably. I think COI literally ends with like Adam either dying or sacrificing most of his power, and only to like re-establish the barrier. Not even to like beat the great old ones and to keep them away from Earth, but to like basically just delay the problem another 10,000 years or whatever. It's literally just a problem for another day, basically. They're just like, listen, that's all we can, all that is within our power is just to be able to delay this again. And then hopefully in another 10,000 years we can just do this again. That's the best case scenario, because they're like, listen, we can't beat them. The expectation of us thinking like, oh, they're gonna beat the great old ones and just be like laughing is just unrealistic. Like, I just don't think that's the way this ends. I feel like this is a very cyberpunk universe, if you know what I mean. Like, because like Cyberpunk 2077 has this thing where like it says like there are no happy endings in Night City. Wrong city. It's just the wrong place. And I feel like LOTM is very similar to that in that instance, where it's just like there's no happy endings. There's like at best neutral endings, and that's your fucking lot. If you get a neutral ending in this verse, you say, holy shit, I fucking lucked the fuck out, boys. I'm out. And I feel like delaying the problem another 10,000 years or whatever would be like the perfect neutral ending of like, yeah, I guess, but it's not really a fucking answer. And it's like, yeah, I'm not supposed to give you a fucking answer. The word you're looking for is Lovecraftian. True. Harsh, I got nothing for that one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got fucking nothing for that one, brother. I got zero, zip, nada, nothing. Oh, God. The word, yeah, I got nothing, bro. I'm not gonna try to sit here and be like, the fucking demoness with wide ass cheek. Like, I got nothing. I got nothing. I'm not gonna pretend to, okay? I got nothing. What's your question? What side story full book would you love to see if the LTM verse with no restriction, like length or cuttlefish writing quality, and why? Okay, this is a good question. Hold on. I think obviously a fourth epoch book would go hard as fuck. I think a Tudor Dynasty book would go, or like Tudor Dynasty side story would go hard as fuck. I think a Mr. Door side story would go hard as fuck. I think a Roselle banging demoness side story would go hard as fuck. Fuck. I gotta get better with my poker face, bro. I can't get through my jokes without laughing. I'm so cringe. Oh, you know what an actual specific answer to me outside of just like what a basic answer everyone would give? I would love a Madam Messenger side story. I want to know her story in more detail. I feel like, yeah, like we have a vague understanding of her story, but like her story would be dope as fuck. I know it would. I have spoken. For the Epoch Junior has the potential to be way better than LTM, but it would be shot. Wait. Pizza. No, or near. Who's Ornira? The name sounds familiar, but I can't remember. First Epoch book? Right, true harsh. I'm in my Chinese Emperor concubine arc. Oh, Trone's vampire wife, yeah. Book following ancient sun gods, full story. True, that'd be fun. Alright guys, we're closing up on 1 o'clock on a 3-hour stream. What do you say we call it here? I say we're closing up, but we're literally a minute and a half away. I think that was fun. I think we got to hang out for like 20 minutes or so after finishing. I think that was decent. I think it's okay. I need to go to bed too, Chris. I got work in 7 hours. Alright, good night everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know it was short notice, but seriously, thank you everyone. Hope you all have a good night or morning. And I will catch you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye guys.